Oh my gosh, guys. This whole time, I didn't press go live. I'm such an idiot. No way. I've been talking to myself for the last 20 minutes. Wow. Unbelievable. I can't believe this whole time I haven't been talking. Or I have been talking to myself. I pressed go live in OBS and I forgot you're supposed to press go live. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I was like, because then like Stone popped in kind of later and said stream, and I was like, oh, he's here, but I was like talking, like asking questions, and I was like, is it dead again? Because I've had problems with my chat before. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Geez Louise, because it says like what tripped me up is like I'm in the YouTube studio channel, and it's like, yeah, like stream health is excellent. And I'm like, okay, well, it's live. And I went to pull it up on my phone. I was like, what's going on? Am I having a chat issue again or something? And it said like waiting for Diggrok on my phone. And I was like, what is happening? And I was like, guys, is the stream working? And that's so funny. I was actually a few minutes early. I actually started a few minutes early. And wow, the stream wasn't live. Let me ping again in the that's hilarious. So I've literally just been talking to myself for the last 20 minutes. All right. So anyway, welcome to the stream. I had a whole intro thing going and everything. I had cool graphics and whatnot. And yeah, so what we're doing today, as many of you know, we are building a racing league in Space Engineers 2. And today we are designing a test course for it. Ignore this checkpoint up here. This was just a sort of a placeholder thing to copy and paste. That's not a real checkpoint. And welcome everybody. Welcome Bribby, Zen Warrior, Stone Lords, Wolf Knight, Blue Gold. Some of you got shout outs earlier and I just was not here, apparently. I was here, but not live. That's great. So yeah, so we've been designing some racers. We actually have, and if you're not familiar with the Race League, there's an intro video link down below, as well as a link to the workshop to the Renegade here. And I see I even had the sweet stream starting soon screen with like cool graphics and everything. But yeah, oops. Goofed that one big time. That's okay. That's okay. Next time. So yeah. So the we're working on these these Smuggler Class racers. So the premise is that the class has to have a minimum weight of 30,000 kilograms. It can have a maximum of 1 5-meter thruster, 8 2.5-meter thrusters, and 24 1-meter thrusters, with a max batteries of 5 1.5-meter batteries. And also have to have a cargo container, because this is a smuggling class race, so you're smuggling stuff, so got to have a cargo container to haul some goods around. There will be some race objectives too that we'll have in some races where you have to load up and race back, and we'll do some fun things like that. Watching this on your IBM 890, I don't know what that is. I was going to say it sounds old though, because I don't know. Especially since everything's in the thousands now, so anything in the hundreds, that's sort of it's from a previous century. So yeah, I got the Renegade in here. I also have a couple other ships I pulled into here. This is the let me pull up the actual blueprint here. What's your favorite racer now? Well, we'll kind of get into that here a little bit. So let me show these. So I pulled this one in here. This is the armored missile racer. This is by the Eternal Never-Ending Flame. And I put this one in here because on the Verdure test course that I put together, that was sort of like a proof of concept course. The one thing with that is the objectives are a little too far out, and so there's a lot of flying at max speed, which doesn't make for like super interesting racing. But this build in particular, it's like a missile build is what he's called it, because it's got so much thrust in the back and not really much thrust anywhere else. Like those are the only 2 side thrusters, and there's those only 2 in the front. Then there's 2 in the bottom, just because you need that to like not fall down. But this one proved to be like super meta in the Verdure test course. So I'm curious to see how it does on this course, which is going to be more windy. And then that's funny, you're using that with a CRT. That's hilarious. I'm so curious what this looks like on a CRT. And then in here, this is by Docky Walkie. This one, I'll show you this blueprint. And all these blueprints, by the way, these are all in there's a race collection we have. The link is below for that as well, but it's also pinned in the Discord. This is the Red Blur by Docky Walkie. I pulled this one in here because we're gonna make a more windy course here, and I'll fly through the course again. I have to like, it's funny, I have to explain it. Luckily I've rehearsed it all by explaining it to myself for 20 minutes, so I can explain it again. I pulled this ship in here because Dakiwaki did a good job of getting this really close to the minimum weight, so you can see the weights of your ships down in the bottom right next to your ship stuff with like the energy and the batteries and stuff. So it's close to 30,000 kilograms, and also the thrusters are really accessible. So I actually have a couple. I messed with their thrusters on this a little bit. There's kind of some holes there in the bottom. There was 2 side thrusters, but because these thrusters were so accessible and it was close to weight, this was just a really good frame to just sort of mess around with different configurations. So I have one on here which is 3 in the back and 4 on the bottom, which is actually similar to this. A similar configuration I'm looking for on the sketch of a next racer I'm going to do, which I'll show the sketch here. There's the sketch of the ship I want to do next, sort of sketching some different ideas out. Want to build that kind of form factor, and this one's the closest. This Dakiwaki ship here was the easiest to sort of mess with thrusters. So there's that configuration, and there's also a configuration where there's 6 vertical thrusters, which is another configuration I was curious to see how well that works. So we'll use those just kind of to test the course. The matrix filter. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Also, welcome in, Looter. All right, so I'll show you sort of the example of the course. So I found this area in this on Chemic here. I really prefer making stuff on Verdure because it's just so much prettier, but they're still kind of optimizing the performance on planets, and I know Verdure with all the extra like trees and stuff, it performs a little bit less than Chemic does. So Chemic would be a little bit easier for just on people's systems and stuff. Oh, and it was asked which one, Uncle Andy asked if which of these builds is my favorite yet. I like a lot of them for a bunch of different reasons. This one here in the center is technically a concept by my buddy Splash Damage. It's a little teaser. That one's not live yet. I won't talk about that one yet. I do like the feel of Dakiwaki's. The Devil's Arrow's got a cool aesthetic. I think he fixed the weight situation on this. It was a little light before. Yeah, now it's 30,000. This one's got sort of like a cool little vibe to it. And I'll do a community stream on everybody's ships. Once we get to 10, I think I'll do a community stream of the racers, and then if we get another 10 after that, I'll do another batch. I think just like every 10, we'll just do a feature. But I'm really excited to see everybody's builds racing when we get multiplayer. But we also will be doing a community live stream event where we're going to do probably just like in Discord or something. We'll hop into Discord and just like people can screen share one at a time, and I'll just like time everybody's laps, and everyone can do like a few laps and see who has the best time, and start getting some leaderboards going. And also there will be some prizes, which I'll announce as we're a little closer to that, but some fun stuff. Oh, the Peregrine. Yeah, that's a good one. Is that one where's that one? That's a good one. Did you delete the old one or something? I don't know why it's not in my is it spelled funny? Did you spell it different than how you would normally spell Peregrine? Oh wait, there it is. Is this it? So you can also update grids if you don't want to delete the old one. You just have to make sure you're updating the oh, there it goes. Apparently you saved it with engines off. Here we go. Ah! Come here, you stubborn rascal. Yeah, at least it landed upright. Sometimes these racers, when they actually are upside down, they're actually kind of hard to upright a little bit. Oh, they were on, just dampeners were off on this build. Weird. I didn't know it saved. I always thought dampeners were just on by default. I didn't know it saved things with it. Question, what is his background? What do you mean? What do you mean by background? Yeah, this one's fun too. I also like the color scheme of this one. This one definitely gives me some Anakin pod racer vibes. This one's fun too. This one's actually we can actually fly around with this one for the 3 in the back. Oh wait, no, you only have, oh, it's only 1 reverse or 1 back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this one's definitely up there as one of my favorites as well. This one's really cool. Where'd I park the other ones at? Down here. What did you update on this one? I can't remember. Oh, you had the extra batteries, right? You had a bunch of extra small batteries that weren't doing you any good except adding like an extra like 3,000 kilograms of weight. Yours, what is the background? Are you talking about like the background of like the room I'm in? What's your background like? It's a there's just like a there's like a light up there, like an RGB light that's shining like a purple light, if that's what you're referring to. And then those are like synthesizers and stuff like that. I make music, although I've been focusing more on building spaceships rather than music at the moment. Do you have any idea what to build when pistons come out in VS 2.2? Honestly, I wish we could get hinges for interesting angles. You can actually use rotors for a lot of angles too. It's just that instead of like, you would basically like if you had like if this was something you wanted to have like a hinge, instead of having like the hinges up here to like open and close it or whatever, you just put your rotors, instead of hinges here, you put your rotors on the sides here, and then you use rotors like that to like rotate it like that. So you can do most hinge tasks with rotors, but there's obviously a lot of things that having the hinge itself would be much more beneficial. I also really hope that we get, I don't know if it's going to happen, but they only showed the small piston down to like the 1/2 meter or whatever, I think, or maybe I'm not sure exactly how big, but I really hope we get like a detailing cube size one. I've bought it, but I never played it, but I bought Starship Evo like a while ago because it was like on sale for like dirt cheap, and I've been watching some videos of it, and on that one they have like really small rotors and like pistons and stuff, and they're like the size of like the detailing block on here, and with those you can do things like build cool ramps or like little things. Like obviously it'd have really limited weight capacities, but it would be, you could just do a lot of cool, like really cool detailing things, or like little landing gear details, or like ramps and stuff like that that you can't do with the bigger stuff. I have a bunch of ideas for pistons and things for sure though, Uncle Andy. Pretty much every ship will have them, and frigates and stuff will have them in some ways, whether it's like big huge hangar doors that open up on frigates, or like cool landing gear that comes down with like landing gear suspension, or like building suspension for like vehicles. Doing like cool cockpit things, like maybe when you get in at like I guess for an example on the Renegade, I thought doing like I don't think we're gonna have a piston or anything small, or rotor or anything small enough for it, but it would be cool to do a wing door style thing that opens up on the Renegade. I thought that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot with them. What I'm really curious to find out with the pistons and the hinges and everything is how can we bring subgrids into survival? That was sort of a big thing with SE1, is there was like not really a good way to like build anything with mechanical blocks in survival, which sucked. Like it was like you could save all your, like if you had let's say you built a big like a huge like frigate or something, and you had that sloped armor effect, right? You had to like save that sloped armor, just that armor panel as its own blueprint, and then like build the main hull, and then like wherever your hinge is at, put a projector onto that, and then like add that blueprint in there, and then build it separately, and then like fold it back down. It was a huge pain in the butt. So like that was like my biggest gripe with Space Engineers, the first one, is that you could build these super cool subgrids, but you couldn't like use them in survival, and like and you could make them, but it was a huge pain in the butt. And then like if you just got like blasted by like an NPC or another player, then like all those hours it took to like build this intricate thing, just like it doesn't work anymore. So I really hope in SE2 that it's easier to use subgrids in survival, because people make really cool things in creative, but you almost never saw them in survival just because it wasn't practical. But yeah, we don't have rotors either, but yeah, just when we will have rotors for 2.2 as well as hinges, or as well as pistons, excuse me, just no hinges. Yeah. Have you guys seen Doom on a floppy disk? Well, I have one. Wow. Yeah, that's a throwback. Holy smokes. Tried to make my survival usable, and technically it's just the antenna was annoying during race to turn off. Oh yeah. I only have the antenna on here because I found this zone. I didn't want to lose the zone. So to bring it back full circle, last night I was scouting for different locations of where to build this race course, and I found this really cool feature here. Let me just actually flip to spectator camera because it's going to be faster. So I was flying around and I found this really cool like little feature here. And I think initially we'll kind of fly over this hill. So I don't know the full racing line yet, but I know roughly what it is. So you'll fly down here, and I want to try to keep it as close to the ground as possible. And then you'll hit this corner. And instead of carrying on through the canyon, you'll actually hit this hairpin here and go through this canyon here. And then there's kind of a little chicane here. And kind of when you're about here, you're sort of hitting max speed. You might have to shed a little bit just to not be too risky in the chicane. But one thing I want to avoid, hey, Marcus, welcome in. And yes, we do need grouping and ship hotbar. Yeah, hotbars would be nice for ships and stuff, be able to turn off a lot of thrusters, especially like the mission runner I built has a lot of vertical thrust, and it's too much to handle when it's not full. When it's full, it needs the thrust, but when it's not full, it's a lot. So yeah, ship toolbars would be nice. But yes, we'll hit this valley in this little chicane here, and then because you're kind of hitting max speed, and I don't want people at max speed too long because it's just not dynamic racing, no one's gaining on each other. We'll shoot back up here some way. We'll kind of figure it out as we're piecing it together. We're going to be placing the checkpoints kind of as we go here and just making sure the racing line feels good. We'll be coming up here somehow. There is potential that we could keep cruising down the valley, and I could just keep having chicanes in the valley to sort of force you to slow down. Hold on, please. I'm gonna go play Doom. Bye. And then because you could shoot up here, like there's kind of this fun little feature here to maybe just fly up through. Granted, it's not very big, and our checkpoints are pretty big. We might revitalize the checkpoints for this map. We'll see. You can come up here, and then there's some sort of like nooks and crannies and stuff to play with here, and then bring it back in. Hey, Faith, welcome in. Come back up here, and then hit the slope again and come down. So it'll be a pretty small circuit. I don't want circuits to be super huge. Ideally, the lap times will be like under 90 seconds, and I want there to be like 10 checkpoints or less, especially since we're using this like antenna system, and it can be pretty overwhelming to have too many antennas. I will do my whole Stone Lords spiel again because when Stone Lords popped in here first time, I was talking about his mod. Stone Lords is working on a really cool mod that uses the safe zones with an arrow inside of them, as well as the mission checkpoint objectives, so that when you fly through the mission, the objectives will tell you where the next checkpoint where the next checkpoint is, and then where the checkpoint is after that, so you can like prepare your turn. And then it doesn't have all the antennas on the screen like this will. So it's a pretty cool solution, and that's sort of the next step of this racing league, is figuring out our mod set, which is tracking checkpoints, and then once you have multiplayer, tracking positions of everybody through the checkpoints, and then also adding in time. We are limited with what we can mod right now. I haven't dove into it, but Stone Lords and others have told me that it's mostly just limited to data modding, so we can modify current stuff, but we can't like script it on our own. So we'll make do with what we can, and yeah, we'll get it there. We could do some kind of Dakar rally. Yes, definitely. There will definitely be rally racing when we have wheels for sure. And there's a lot of sweet terrain to mess with that on. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with vehicles with the 300 meters per second speed limit. I don't think you're going to be able to get there in vehicles without being destroyed, which is fine because ships should always be faster. But it's going to be, because if it's going to be hard to hit max speed in vehicles, that means there's not really going to be a top speed limit, because I doubt you're going to be able to go 300 meters per second on terrain. Hey, Ira, welcome in. I thought you were doing your little stream today. It's good to see you. So let's run through this with our racing line. And I also need to program this in for more people, but I do have it for Ire. Watch this. I need to do, Ire's got a great, and Rev and Marcus and all those guys, they have one that does this automatically, but there's one for Ire. He's the only one I have programmed in here. I need to get the Streamlabs thing on here, which does it automatically, where when you chat, it gives a little shout out. But he's a similar size channel as I am, and he makes some fun content. He streams much more regularly than I do. I'm working on getting a more consistent stream schedule, but it's just kind of depends what's going on with work and stuff. So we'll fly through here. This checkpoint's already a little too far because I want you to have to hug the valley more. You'll hit this hairpin. Ooh, this is fun. So, and you missed it. I technically started the stream 20 minutes late. I was talking to myself for the first 20 minutes because I didn't hit go live in my my YouTube channel. Oh, that's right. You did say to go until your son wakes up. Yeah, got an hour and a half in. Nice. Yeah, I was talking to myself for 20 minutes, not realizing I wasn't live, and like I was like asking chat questions and stuff, and like people were saying hi in the chat because they were just coming in to watch the stream, so like I knew the chat was working, and I was like, it doesn't seem like it's working. Yeah, so it's funny, you missed all that. So one thing I was talking about in my 20 minutes of, we'll call it my rehearsal phase, One thing I'm really excited about for race courses is decorating. So we kind of have this like hairpin we're going to come around for, and I thought it'd be kind of cool if there was like a lore reason why there was a hairpin here. So what I'm going to do once we kind of get the course fleshed out is in this little canyon here, I'm going to crash a very large ship into this canyon, and it's going to be sort of just this derelict, just like old ship hole that's here, and it's been scrapped off. It'll be like grounded down in some ways and stuff like that, and looks like it's been sort of looted for a while. And it won't have any lights or anything. It'll be dead, so it'll save on PCU and stuff like that in performance, but it'll just be this sort of like derelict hole that's like at the end of this canyon. So you sort of like whip down this little hole here, and there's just this big ship here. And we'll also like decorate this canyon. We'll add in like try the Knife Valley Edge. What is the Knife Valley Edge? Try the Valley Knife Edge. The Valley, is that like what is the Valley Knife Edge? Are you talking? Why is it knife edge in the valley? Oh, you mean like flying it sideways like this? You're talking about like an airplane maneuver. In this valley too, I want to add like some decorations of having like grandstands sort of thing, like spectator things, or like little scavenger outposts or something like that. I'm really excited to not just place checkpoints, but actually decorate these things. But initially we'll get the checkpoints in, we'll get the racing line figured out, and then the decorating will happen as we go, because I got to build a lot of structures and stuff for that. So that's going to be like a whole thing. I'll probably build like a theme of assets, like a smuggler's theme of like outposts and stuff like that. So the racing line will come up through here some way, somehow. We'll figure it out. Yeah, depending on the area, flying on its side. The one thing with like racing is it seems like having your thrust on like two major vectors is sort of going to be the key, because you want to have obviously a good vector to go forward, and you want to have a good vector to sort of like stop your momentum. So like drifting a lot, like flying sideways a lot is definitely, like knife edge is definitely definitely going to be a common way of hitting your racing lines. There's a lot of flying sideways. That's why like on the next build, I'm actually not even going to have really any side thrusts. It's going to be prioritized mostly on the rear and vertical, because I don't end up using side thrusts that much. Yes, like an illegal racetrack. Yeah. And it could even be sort of, I mean, because that is sort of, you kind of draft lore however you want. I mean, since it's in a valley, it is pretty hard to detect, right? So there could be basically like a whole smugglers, kind of like on a like Tatooine, right? There's like cities of, what's the line? Scum and I forget the line. Hive of scum and someone's gonna say it. You have no doubt you'll make a rover with wheels and it breaks apart at 18 meters per. Well, actually, 18 meters per second you're safe, because you get no grid damage under 20 meters per second. So it'll break at 21 meters per second. Slum. Yeah, it's a whole phrase. Is it Obi-Wan that says it? Wretched hive of scum, villainy, and yeah, I think scum was one of them. I can't remember. Somebody can look it up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place these checkpoints sort of as we go along, and just hive of scum and villainy. Yeah, it's longer than that though. It's like I think it's like twice the length of that. Wretched hive of, maybe not. Maybe it's just that. Maybe I've just seen it like on like typography designs where it's just longer and stuff like that, because it's so, yeah, using big words. All right, so we know we want this checkpoint down here. This is sort of a main feature, is this corner. This is going to be the big corner. It's coming down here and hitting this hairpin. These checkpoints are actually a little wide for this, but we might optimize our checkpoints for this specific course. But I don't like this placement. Just place that really quickly. Oops, keep this guy in the build here. Actually, I don't even, you know, I'll just fucking eat this guy. I don't need him really anywhere. Dampener's off. Creative camera is life. Spectator camera. All right. So, find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Yeah, villainy. Okay. That was close. All right, so we'll copy this just so we have, actually we'll copy this one because it's less supported. It's useful when you're building these to like place it down and copy the block that you're looking at, because whatever block you're looking at when you copy, that's the block it'll hold when you're pasting. It'll make it easier to paste. I probably shouldn't even like hum that because I'll get a copyright strike just for even humming the Cantina song. All right, so let's get this really low to the ground. Might be too low. I might actually have to make this checkpoint vertical, which I think let me try that. Let me see what it looks like vertical. So you can change when you're placing a block, you can, when you're making a new grid, you can press B to change the alignment so you can get it gravity aligned. Let's just make sure we're kind of square with our valley here as best as possible. All right, and we'll paste that in there. Goal of this track is to have some dynamic cornering and things like that. Oh boy, I don't know. Computer's melting here. It's funny, like when I'm like placing these things, the game struggles, but like my computer performance is fine. Oops, that's upside down. Like I keep my performance thing open and nothing's maxed out, so it's just some limitation within the engine. It's not necessarily a system issue. If I can figure out my rotation, jeez Louise. Oh my gosh. That's gonna be sticking out too far. Oh no. Oh yeah. Let's do this. These posts are too long. Just so I can get more resolution, I'm going to cut this one down. Chop. And I'm going to copy this there instead. Keep that there just for reference so I can get this one dialed in right. Something I was thinking about recently, especially with multiplayer and scripting, but we might be able to use the countdown, that fast travel system to start the races. Interesting. And to start, yeah, we could have that there, and then also it'd be cool to time that with like a gate opening or something like that. It'd be interesting, or like if there's a way to, we could have like a start pad with landing gear, and everyone lands on landing gear and it auto locks from the grid you're landing on. It's on the grid itself, so you land on that and it locks you. Then everyone's locked, and those don't unlock. Yeah, timer ticks down, and then landing gear unlocks, and everybody could go. It'd be kind of fun. Once we have water, we could do boat races with waterfall. So much potential. Yes. I don't know if you've ever seen like river jet boats, but doing something like that would be sweet. Going up like a stream, that'd be super fun. Absolutely. Gravity aligned. Gonna have to probably optimize this more later, but we'll just get it placed. Good God. These are really. So if you had a chance to look over the one mod, are you talking about the rocket mod? Not yet. I haven't looked at it yet. I actually didn't realize you went live with it for SC2 yet. Yeah, when you get live, yeah. So Dennis, also PhD composer, he's been working on like a so hard to place these, like a pressure mod for like hydrogen tanks and stuff. So so that way it's like more accurate to like, man, this is not placing how I want it to. So as your like fuel tank pressure drops, it like delivers less thrust to your thrusters and stuff. So if we were to play a race where there was like fuel tanks and stuff, then as you use more fuel, your thrust gets less efficient, which is kind of interesting. So we were talking about that would be something that would play interesting into like a more hardcore race style mode, especially one where there's like you're like doing like pit stops. Like if you're, you just have a small hydrogen tank and you gotta stop every now and then, land on a connector and fill it up, gas up, and then you also get more acceleration back that way, so you can sort of strategize kind of like when your pit stops, when you should do it. Like maybe you're not low on fuel, but you really want the extra thrust. That would definitely be more of like a hardcore element for sure, but it would be pretty cool nonetheless. Ooh, it came in too hot. Yeah, it's not exactly where I want that. I would want that to be scooched over a little bit more, but we're just playing around for now. We'll kind of just super roughly place these things, and then I'll come back through later after the fact and like actually precision place these things down where we want them to be. We also could, rather than doing a full checkpoint too, if we're just trying to figure out the racing line, we actually don't need this full thing. We actually just really need the antenna, which actually is not a bad idea. That'd be much faster for the sake of getting it dialed in for the stream. So let's just copy. We really just need this stuff. Let's just copy this. Partial copy is so amazing. I really hope they add a partial cut though, because there's many times I want to use this to actually like delete something, not just copy it. Scripting, you can go full Mario Kart, do in water and space, in air, even disable thrusters or elements as you go over checkpoints. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Because I was thinking about that too for like a death race kind of thing, where if you had like weapons on there. I know there's a few games that do that. I mean, I guess Mario Kart kind of where you randomize the weapons, but there's another game I played on PS3. I forget what it was called. It was sort of an arcadey game, but you had like weapons and you'd run over like a thing and it would activate your weapon, which was pretty cool. Kind of like what you're talking about. That would be fun. All right, so if we could have a checkpoint. Yeah. Now it's less important where it's at exactly. Now we can just sort of figure out our racing line. That's just floating because that's what they do. So if we have one there, then you have to whip around to here. And then race to this chicane here. Yeah, like Death Race, yeah. Oh, yeah, because Death Race, they do activate them too. Is that how that works in Death Race? They have to run over things? God, those movies were crazy. So you hit that, chicane to this one. Then it's a matter of figuring out how to make this interesting so you're not just cruising at max speed. Of course, this chicane could really be, we could accentuate this chicane here to make sure you really can't cheat it by putting in like playing to our lore, we could put like a crashed ship in here. Actually, just for fun, let's try this, see if this works. This is a ship by Sneaky Zebra 1, who actually makes some really cool ships. I wonder if going to our derelict idea, if I can just throw this here. How wide is this? Is this going to fit in the valley? Oh, it's too small. But that's okay. He's got bigger ones. This, I think, is a smaller one of his. Let me go to one of his bigger ones. Yeah, I'm definitely down for like some things where there's like races, but you have to like run over stuff to activate it. That'd be super cool. Because the thing you don't want is just like everyone spam firing each other at the at the start of the race, right? Actually, how much PCU is this? I should have looked at that because... Uh-oh. Game looks like it's crashing. Oh boy. 258,000 PCU. Oh, it's actually not as big as I thought it was. Well, anyway, that's okay. We'll figure out something. But if there was just some kind of cool way to sort of force this chicane to be a little more dramatic, that'd be pretty cool. Just add in like a wall of these. It's very strange. Like you have to be like a certain closeness to use these things. Yeah, just something like that. Maybe a little overhead action. Make a fake city with tall buildings and race between. Yes. Yeah. So decorating racetracks is something I am very looking forward to. Absolutely. This is just a cool way to sort of force you to sort of take a moment to slow down. This could be another old ship or a old like could be an old like outpost that fell off the cliff or something like that. We're just sort of sketching the idea. We're trying to find the race line is more important than anything else at the moment. Let me copy this because you paste a blueprint, it redoes your clipboard. All right, so how does if we have like that kind of action going here when we put this, maybe base of this. All right, let's just see how this feels as a racing line initially. Where's the renegade? The reason I like to be the spectator camera is I can just copy this, go to my start line, paste it. Could even go lower PCU and have broken structure supports from a bridge that fell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because pretty much anything that's like sort of like debris or like a derelict object or something doesn't need to have like all the PCU power stuff. It doesn't need lights or anything. It can be powerless, lightless, just blocks. just pure blocks. And we can obviously, there's mods to like increase the PCU thresholds, but I like to not have to deal with mods. So you come down here, hit this, brake, 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 brake. Hit the hairpin, actually hit that pretty good. Race through here. Little chicane. Can you blast through the chicane? Oh, not with this ship. Oh, jeez. This is the thing with crashing too, with even without damage on, is sometimes it can actually take a while to gain control of your ship again. Hit the chicane. Okay, I think that can work. It'll still be interesting. Then we'll fly up here. Put another checkpoint up here somewhere. Could even hard cut here. There could be a building at the end of this run here. So as you come up here, let's go in your building just to kind of like race it and sort of figure out like where, like logically, it seems like the racing line should go. Let's see, like we could cut here, then we could like cut up along this up to here. That sort of sets us, sort of puts us in a decent spot. Because what we're looking for here is just where can we end up in here that makes our racing line continue to be interesting. Actually, it would be kind of cool if it cut up into here. Bring it back. Remembers the Canyon course. Yeah, that was a cool course. Yeah, because you had some like decorations on that course. If that's the one you sent me, you had like cool little like caves that went through, but they were like, you know, like paved, not paved, but there was sort of like there were like little bases and stuff. It'd be kind of fun too if we know we're building this, we could have like a competition or something too to add in like elements or something too. We can get crazy with it. So it could be interesting if you had to cut up into here and cut on the back side of this cliff here. And then logically that would kind of take you up into here. You could loop it around the mountain like an upward spiral kind of. Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure that there are enough turns to where you're not just rolling at max speed the whole time. Yeah, this cuts you here, and that lines you up pretty decently to come back to our loop here. Not a huge circuit. The goal is to have the lap times be under 90 seconds. And not have, ideally less than the 10 checkpoints or less, ideally, is sort of the goal. Okay, well let's do this. Let's take our Renegade again. And let's just go to the beginning of this line and let's just race it like we would be racing it. And let's just see what feels natural. Let's just hit it a couple times and see what feels groovy. All right. Yeah, that chicane slows you down just enough. Then you hit max speed raise, you kind of get to this checkpoint. At least in this build. A more thrust forward build, you'd hit it faster. Let's see, sort of shoot up into this way, sort of what feels good. Just run that again real quick. Can always, you know what actually we can do also is we can, let's do this one more time. We can place our checkpoints in a few different areas and see what feels good. Let me also maybe start, get rid of this thing. Start cleaning up our HUD here a little bit. By the way, if I keep saying chicane, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's like it's just something used in racing a lot, especially on like really, really long straightaways. It helps break up the speed and ensure that racers aren't, it can be used for safety so racers aren't going too fast, but they just kind of add like a really technical area to the middle of a straight stretch. Like you're cruising forward, then you have to sort of slam the brakes, sort of go through it, then you can even keep cruising after that, depending on how they're used. I still have yet to test my racer in a course. I feel like it's going to do terrible. Well, that's what racing's all about. You throw it in and see what happens. You do have thrusters you can still use. You haven't hit your max thruster package, so whatever, you know, that's a good opportunity to like fly it around. And if you're like, man, I could really use some more braking or more thrust or whatever, you sort of just like dial it in and add whatever you need. Even that build by Eternal Flames, that one, that armored missile racer, that one can still have 2 more medium thrusters, and even without it, it still sets the best times on that Verdure test course. Which just goes to show more or less that that type of build is just suitable for like a long or like a longer straightaway course. Let's see. Let's throw it in here real quick just to see how far away is that. 1.58 kilometers. I'm curious to see. Let's say somebody is like exaggerating a thruster package. Let's go to this missile one real quick. Speaking of things, it'd be cool when we get more cockpits too. Okay, so how far did this one get to max speed here? This one this one's fast, but it pisses me off because it doesn't have very good thrust in other directions, and it's really hard to make it stop. Just curious to test how oh geez, case in point, Jesus Christ. It reminds me of like, I have like these like recurring dreams where like I'm driving a vehicle. Oh, my dampeners were off. That didn't help. I have this like recurring dream where like I'm in a vehicle and like it just like kind of does this where like I'm holding brake, and it just doesn't quite stop. Anyway, what I want to test is how long it takes. I'm going to see how far I can get away from this checkpoint before it gets to max speed, which I don't even think I can. I don't think I have room for this, but see what happens. Okay, about 600 meters. That just sort of informs us how long a straight can be before like a very thrust forward build can go fast. And I don't have a problem if somebody, you know, I don't have an issue with this. Like if having this thrust one like this means you can get to max speed faster, that's fine. I think you're gonna, you know, the disadvantage is gonna be in the corners. Like it's certainly, and that's what's fun about these like thruster packages. Is sorry, I was looking away as I'm racing through. That's not helping. Is kind of seeing how people choose to optimize their thrust and what directions. I like that there's sort of the freedom to sort of do whatever you want. I'm sure for certain courses, every course is going to have like a meta for sure. But that's sort of just, you know, you might have a oh my gosh, this one's actually really hard to use in this course. You might have a ship you use for one course and then another ship you use for another course, and that's totally groovy. I don't see any issue with that. It's no different than racing. Played a lot of like Forza growing up in Gran Turismo, not Forza Horizons, like Forza when it was like actually more realistic. Forza Horizons is bonkers. Played a lot of like more realistic racing games, and you know, sometimes a muscle car is good for a certain track, and sometimes super handling Mercedes is really good for courses. So sort of different builds for different courses it's all part of the game. Oh gosh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, well, I don't really like flying builds like this anyway, so yeah, I was actually just about to pull that one in, the Sphinx, because that one's got a huge brake, just to see how that one is. Where's my cars? Oh my gosh, I can't stop this thing. I don't like the lack of thrust in other directions. He still has 2 medium thrusters to use on this thing. Oh my gosh, stop. I just want to stop. Yeah, so here's the Sphinx. Also, we'll see Ire how yours does too. I can run it through real quick. It's interesting too, because like, you know, like we all make our own builds and stuff, so we're probably all pretty good with our builds. So like, I might not be able to race Flame's build very well, but I'm sure he can like dust me with that thing. But maybe I can fly my Renegade better and he can fly it. All right, so this is here, I'll show the blueprint again. This is also in the collection, linked down below. This is the Sphinx Light Atmo Smuggler by Ashen Cat. And Zen Warrior, are you Ashen Cat? Since you brought up the Sphinx. All right, everyone's got different Discord names from YouTube names, so I never know. Never know for sure. But yeah, Ashen Cat focused on like a major braking thruster and having that for the big thruster, which it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. There's certainly certain scenarios where that's going to be super beneficial. But of course, the trade-off here is you have a little bit less thrust accelerating, but you can always add more. Always reprioritize. Boy, as soon as you get off that, it really breaks fast though. Holy smokes. Oh boy. I might actually use that to break the vertical as well. So when you're going down, you can stop the vertical by just pointing down and stopping it. I like that sort of got like this like I mean, it's definitely got like a Sphinx thing going on, but the front's like the paws of the Sphinx, but it also kind of reminds me of like a bulldozer. Yeah. Oh, don't worry, Wolf Knight. I recognized your name. The big trade-off when you have this all the braking in the front, though, is obviously you don't have the acceleration. Oops. Oh, geez. Like, oh man, what is my deal here? Like, it definitely feels a little slower on the acceleration, but there's no doubt you're going to be able to fly into corners that people would otherwise have to brake on. The vertical is actually, is it just the 2 vertical? Yeah, it could actually use more, I think, because it doesn't have, it just has the 2 thrusters in the back. I think it could use either more vertical or more rear thrust just to help compensate that speed. Just because one of the issues is if it starts drifting and you don't have strong thrust in one particular angle, it's hard to sort of escape out of a corner. Just go with the positives with the up and down one. Hey, it works. Whatever, you know, that's sort of how it plays out sometimes. You know, the reason I named like the Talon was when I like first put the Talon together, the windows sort of kind of looked like the beak of a hawk, but then as I was putting it together, I was like, you know, this, if the cockpit's the beak, then like these little things sticking out the side are sort of like when an eagle is striking and its talons are out. It's got it's you know, it's like striking with its talons out, and it's got like the little tail feather wing in the back, so it sort of like takes on the silhouette of like an eagle sort of striking down prey. Picture it come hitting in the water or something like that with its talons out in front of it. That's where the name of the Talon comes from. Just mix of form factor, but also it ends up being sort of looking like an animal. So I'm here for if your ship ends up taking on a form of a certain shape, why not name it that? Flame's got another build he's working on that looks like a baby bird in there as well. Let's see how the Black Ledger does. This one's by Ire. He's got some videos on this on his YouTube as well. And I think he's got, I think you can have, let's place it. Place it. Place it. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't place right. Just turn it off for now. I think he can have one or two more 2-meter thrusters. How many has he got? 7. So you can have 1 more 2-meter thruster, and he can have 12 more 1-meter thrusters. So you got that going for you, Ire, if you need to have more. You got a lot of thrust you can add if you need it. Obviously, you're near weight right now, and adding more thrusters is more weight, but... Whoa! I landed on the antenna. Yeah, there is groups. So you can, yeah, there's, when you just select multiple things, you press this button here, and you can group your blocks. You can't add them to a toolbar or anything, but you can definitely group them. Oh, okay, Faith, here's the B-25. The Renegade clone. I missed that corner bad. It's so interesting, like, trying to get used to flying everybody else's ships. I'm, like, so used to flying a certain way. Spent, like, hours and hours and hours just flying with a certain configuration. Your life is a lie. Oh, man. Oh, man. Where am I? Wow, I bounced really high. Bonk. Yeah. I need to not watch the chat while I'm flying is 90% of my problem. Get there. Well, we're flying a little over. Let's hit that racing line again. Let's go back to the start. I'm really excited to decorate these courses, though. It's going to be super fun. And in doing that, I'll just have a bunch of assets designed that can be used for other courses or other fillers or something. Try to make them somewhat useful as props so they can be used for other people's builds. So if other people are designing race courses, you can use the same assets. Okay, so this one's tricky. You got to sort of like brake coming into it. Trying to get close to the antenna, just knowing that there is going to be a checkpoint, right? So we're not going to be super far from them. Oh, that was close. Well, getting too high for the chicane here. Getting too high for the chicane. Oh, bang. Go, go, go. Sometimes running into things might benefit you on a corner, but ideally it doesn't. Don't want like Project Gotham style racing where you can just like go full speed into a corner and use the wall as a as a brake. Interestingly enough, that did happen in NASCAR a few years ago. There was the end of a race and a guy was like in third or fourth or something, and there was a fast racing line on the edge of the track that was doing pretty good, and it was like the final lap coming to the checker to the flag. The guy had nothing to lose, so he actually used the wall to like scoot around the corner, and he ended up winning the race. It's crazy. I don't know if they adjusted any rules or anything to prevent that, but it was definitely a wild move. It was like watching a video game. It was pretty crazy. It happened a couple years ago. I'm curious to see, just to test one more thing, I'm just curious to see this configuration. Oh yeah, since it was mentioned here, here's Faith's. This is the B25. It might look recognizable. For no particular reason at all. A retelling, if you will, of the Renegade. This one though has two thrusters in the back. I think Faith, though, you have a lot of weight on this thing. You could definitely lose some weight come race day, like what I do with mine with the Renegade, because the Renegade's also like 31,000, but these control seats are really heavy. So like when I'm actually racing, I take a control seat out, and you know, just when you're getting ready for a race, if you just need to shed some, there's sort of like the vanity build, then you can have like an actual race build, right? You could remove just a couple things. I don't know what else in here is contributing to so much weight. I don't know if you have like a lot of gyros or something. Oh, the connectors don't help. Is there a connector on top too? Oh no, but the connector, that's right, this one's kind of cheesed a little bit, so that he's got the connector on here, and I think no cargo. Like we're supposed to have the cargo, but the connector holds as much as the small cargo container, and it's heavier, so there's not really a benefit to having the connector. I'm not super worried about the fact that it's not the cargo container. It holds this, it's a disadvantage to have this versus the cargo container. So there's not much of an advantage there, and any of the cargo races aren't going to be, they're not going to, when you have to like, oh, there's no, oh, there it goes. When you have to like, when we have a race where there's like a point to point where you're like going to collect cargo and bring it back and doing time trials, the cargo that's being collected isn't going to be connector based. It's going to be like you have to get out and like grab the cargo out of the thing, load it into your thing, and like do a couple laps of that to get full. It won't be just like connect and like transfer inventory. So having the connector, which is the same storage as the cargo and a heavier weight, isn't necessarily an advantage. But so if you wanted to have that, you could. Also, there's a chance that they could update connectors. Like it's kind of weird that connector has the same storage capacity as a small cargo container. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a future update they update that. But yeah, so it's a heavier Renegade, but it's got 3 thrusters in the back. I want to see how well this 6 vertical thrust one does. So this is sort of a modified Dakiwaki's thruster configuration here, but this thing actually race okay. Not enough battery. Oh, was it hitting near max energy, that one, the B25? The strong vertical thrust can help dampen corners. Like it might be useful for this chicane here. Oh, too hard. Went too hard with it. Too much thrust. And it can be, if you have like I said, as long as you have 2 strong points of thrust, you can like use one of them for braking. But it's really useful if you're like need to skirt the top of a cliff like this. It's just you lose your ability to if you go upside down too long, you start falling. Let's see. Yeah, this over here is too far to get to this one. So I don't think I want to have the race come over here. How much can smart cars hold? It's the same as, yeah, it's 8 tons, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Oops, inventory. Yeah, 8 tons, same as the small connector, or the same as the regular connector. Waiting on more of the API for any mod you do. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. I think probably a lot of people are. Plus, we kind of got to see what is going to come out in the base game, right? Like, I know Darkblade was talking about shield mods in the Discord, and asked if anyone's made one yet. And I was like, well, Merrick sort of teased shields in a dev diary a while ago. That's why I made my shields and survivability video. So they might have shields in the base vanilla game, to be determined. But I'm sure most people are waiting to see what's in the vanilla game before getting too crazy with making some mods. All right, so if we don't want to go that far, we want to come up this way. Let's get back to making our track here. Let's copy this guy. We might not actually even want to go to that one. We might even just want to skip that one. Yeah, I was thinking about it too. Yeah, it could come to the back of this. It could even dive down again. Like it could dive down to here and then back up. Definitely is a way to break up the speed for sure. It is fun having some like dynamic up and down. Because it is nice coming out of the backside here. This is pretty nice entry back to the starting corner. Like we could have a checkpoint here. Oop, that's not flat. Looks flat until you get close to it. Let's just dump this here. Please? 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 Let me place this. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. It fell. All right, we'll just place a block like this. That's where we want it. Yeah, I'll put it on here. All right. Staying away from SC2 block mods. Yeah. Makes sense. Or use the huge curve there as kind of a cyclone. Yeah, the only thing with the cyclones is that's going to be kind of dependent on sort of the mod situation for our checkpoints. Like if it was Stone Lord's mod, we could probably pull it off. Because if we have too many like stacked checkpoints, when you're flying up to it, it's going to be hard to tell which one you're supposed to hit first. Oops. I think just like a dip would probably suffice. Like a dip down, hit something. Yeah, let's walk it in this way. So let's start on this side. Let's back up into our start here. The other thing too is considering where our starting point's going to be too, because we need to have sort of a pad for everyone to land on. But I think that's going to be down in the canyon. I personally hope shielding is always modded thing and not part of the base game. I am totally with you on that. Just especially because there's just a potential that shields could be like cheesed in a way where they're like really too powerful. There has to be like maximums on like the max total possible HP of a shield. It can't be tied to like power, because all the mods that tie shields to power, everyone just builds these huge builds, and it's like if you don't have the biggest build that's maxing it out as possible, then you just like you're going to lose every battle. So it forces every engagement to be like the biggest build possible, which is just not super cool or engaging. I would rather see more just like ways to just like evade and detect and like avoid if you don't want to fight, just ways to avoid the fight entirely. That's what I think would be the better route. Okay, how many checkpoints are we at? We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, but this one doesn't count. That's not a thing. That's just a checkpoint. So it's 6. We're at 6. So we can go 6. Let's zoom out here. So 6. So we could go. You know, honestly, what would be kind of cool is if you switch back around here and you switch back and hit this and fly this way. Could also be cool. Sort of keeps you in the one canyon. You know, if it's like an illegal race, you probably don't want to come over the canyon walls too much. What is the scale like on this? Just for scale purposes. Because sometimes you see a crevice, like, oh, we can fly through that. Then you get there and you're like, that's too small. Oops. That's wide enough. I actually really like the Verdure racing terrain. It's just the performance is a little bit better on Chemic, I think. I'm not actually convinced of that, but it might be. That's why I'm here. It just depends on the kind of racing you want to do. I also just like think Verdure is just like way prettier. Also, do we have an official pronunciation? Have we heard like a lore in game? Have they pronounced the name of that planet? So you could blast through that chicane if you want to, but it would be definitely a risk for sure. Come up here. And you'd, what was I proposing? Switch back into that? No, switch back higher. Vegetable, yes. I just like that we're gonna have a bunch of planets because I think each planet's gonna have unique things about it for racing. Like certainly for rovers, Verdure is probably gonna be a little bit friendlier because maybe. Plus you have like tree obstacles, which is gonna be really interesting to deal with. I'm excited for racing on all the planets. What's hilarious about Chemic, I shouldn't say hilarious, it's just the thing about it. Chemic's got this like haze to it, like you can kind of see that haze, and this haze reminds me of like playing like racing games on the Nintendo 64 where like the rendering distance wasn't very long, so you'd always like kind of have a haze. You sort of be flying blindly until you get to a point, which you don't really realize it at the time when you were playing it. You're like, oh, look at this, so cool, you can see super far. Then you play like racing games now, it's obviously the rendering distance is really far. Then you go back and look at those games, you're like, how did we ever play that? You can't see more than like 100 yards in front of the vehicle. Yeah, I don't think they said it in the cinema. I don't think they said it yet in the story either, like when they like crash lands. That's why I don't know the exact pronunciation. Otherwise, yeah, vegetable. I know on IR stream group they call Chemic Kermit. Chemic is a little less debatable on the pronunciation though, unless they like pronounce it Chemique or something. Okay. If we hypothetically decided to come this way, do I have my antenna still? I do. Okay. If we came up and hit this checkpoint probably would end up, might even put the checkpoint here on this. Palatine probably be pretty good for rovers. That's the, is that the moon they've been teasing? That's the moon they've been teasing, right? Yeah, you do, or just break for the chicane. That's the other option. Oh, it has been clarified? All right. Are you able to type phonetically how it's supposed to be pronounced? Let's see. So if we came around there, we could actually cut up to here and then carve this way. We could rise or we could dip. Dips are always fun. Let's just put this checkpoint here for now. Verdure. Oh, I was trying way too hard then. Verdure. The alligators are always so angry because of their verdura obligadas. Boy, that's gonna be a tough turn. Dipping down and then climbing that. I'm here for it. Here for tough. Here for tough. The Volsung Industries Black Ledger. Here for tough. I'm trying to think about how we would climb up this. Let's just race it and see. Oh, did I lose my racer? Nope, there it is. I get all the way over here. Knew someone would pick up the waterboy reference. Obviously, we'd be hitting this with better speed. Hit that, and then you'd cut up this way. Whoa, baby, whoa, baby, whoa, baby. Cut through here, just following the terrain. Comes out right about there. Save that spot. Park there, park there. Because Italian meaning lush green vegetation. It's funny because I was gonna joke that it just sounds like the name of a fancy wine brand. So I wasn't too far off in my instincts on that one. So who would have guessed that of all of everybody, the Italians were going to be the ones to colonize the Almagest? No offense to Italians. I just didn't expect that one, you know. So if it goes there, races to here, 1.5 kilometers. It's pretty far, but you really got to be prepared for that drop. So if you're coming to that turn too hot, definitely can hurt you. Let's just drop an antenna and see how it feels. All offense to the Italians, mostly Marcus. Name sounds like that thing from the first 1970s Star Trek movie almost. That is a reference that is going to be over my head. All right. Let's bring this guy back over here. Paste it into our little workshop of things. Let's go find the Renegade. That way I can, since I just am more just acclimated to this thing's handling. Get rid of that, get rid of that to get down to weight. All right. Let's see. The starting checkpoint would probably be down here. I think I'm sort of picturing sort of a grandiose sort of start point down here. Of course, it's not really a checkpoint. I guess it could be near the chicane. Starting point could be like around here or something. I just think it'd be fun to have sort of like the grandstands and stuff sort of above this. All right. So if we started here, I need to take a sip. Be sure to press like on the stream while we're sipping. Channeling my inner Duke. All right, let's see how we're doing. That one's pretty far away. That one's going to be an interesting one to hit. I feel like we're getting too expansive again. Hit this one. Whoa, daddy. Whoa, daddy. We're going to crash. We're going to crash. V'ger. Maybe that was loosely some inspiration. You come back down to this one. Come into the hole here. Still cruising at max speed a lot. Gonna crash. We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. Saved it and crashed it. Quit looking at chat while you're flying. Quit looking at chat while you're flying. Just fly. Just fly. Chicane. I don't like how far away this one is. This one just doesn't feel good. That one's, and like you come up kind of at a weird line. That doesn't feel like a good racing line there. It's a logical way to fly out of the canyon, but it doesn't feel good from a racing standpoint. And that one we were kind of hemming and hawing when we were placing in the first place anyway. I think if we hit this, come up this, sort of force you to fly up, we could loop to this. Have a corner here. I mean, this would be a really tiny track, but not that there's anything wrong with that actually, but just for shenanigans here, let's place a antenna. Oops, it's not the antenna. Schnoikies. I'm actually gonna just cut this antenna. Let's place it here. So I don't want to get too crazy placing the checkpoints right away, just because I knew that we'd be moving them around. So we cut that way. It would bypass those 2 checkpoints. This is pretty far, though. That's, how far is that? That's 1.67 kilometers, and you can hit max speed at 600 meters. So that's not super fascinating. How far away are we from that one? 1.4, but we're climbing uphill, so you lose a little bit of speed. Plus, it'd be a spot where if you had a big, strong boost in ship, this is where you could gain some ground on the pack. This is where sort of a muscle car sort of takes over. And that hole is going to be tough. I think the checkpoint would probably be on this ridge. It could even be sticking sideways out the side of the ridge, so you fly up into it. And then if it flies up there, we could actually turn to come to here. Just seeing how if we can loop back around this ridge. You do have that lip to get over, which will slow you down. Plus, you need to just need to slow before the big drop at the start of the new lap. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because you won't, if you hit this checkpoint and turn that way, even though it's 1.8, you would definitely be a little slow on the turn. I mean, we can race and see. I was going to see if I could come back over to this side, because I didn't hate this approach over here to that corner. That wasn't too bad either. It's pretty far also, though. But again, yeah, to your point, you get to slow down. Oops. I accidentally selected my checkpoint. We turn the antenna back on this just so I can not lose it. It's one of the reasons I want to switch back to it. Let's cut it. And let's try this turn. Maybe instead of just Clang, Cola, SC2 should have Biblos water as a drink, kind of like bottled water. It might contain electrolytes and could even give health buffs. Like some natural spring water. Biblos spring water. I like Biblos, I like the kind of the gray rock they've been posting with the water. I completely vibe with Biblos. It sort of has like a sort of a very sci-fi kind of feel. Maybe because a lot of like sci-fi stuff shot in Iceland, and Biblos kind of looks like Iceland being like a. Let's see, so we're hitting that, and we're gonna come up this way. Checkpoint would probably rise up through the checkpoint, roughly like that. Cut that way. Gain some ground. And hit this. Whew, man, that's gonna definitely take some learning for that corner. Which is fine. That's great. I love that. Oh. Gonna take some learning on the chicane too. And that's a more organic object, might feel better. They'll probably extend this all the way to this hill, so you naturally kind of hit this hill as an obstacle kind of thing. You climb up to this one. Fire and water plant, yeah. Space Fiji water. Man, that's a tough corner. Downhill into a hairpin is there's gonna be some broken hearts on that corner. Coming in way too high on this chicane. I don't hate it. Don't hate the line. It's a pretty Pretty simple. This would be a super fast lap time course. Just for funsies, actually. Let's do this. Let me open up split time. Where is split time? What the heck? Time. Wait, what's it called? There's an app I have. Time split? Where? I thought it was called split time. What is the name of the app we're using for? Gosh dang it. Live split. It's close. Open up a live split. Thank you. All right, now we can actually have a clock going here. Let's just get a general idea. All right, so if our start line's down here, see the clock there in the top left. So sort of our racing clock we've been using. It's used for like speed running for games. So it's just a free app you can use. We'll just start it here. We'll have some speed normally on our normal lap. So come up this, hit this. That corner. Just run a clean lap. Run a clean lap. Don't crash. Don't crash. Don't crash. Brake, 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 brake. You really cannot brake early enough for this corner, man. Yeah. Dang. 42 seconds, 45 seconds, more or less. It's a pretty quick lap. That's a pretty quick course. Let me just run it if I were to run to those back checkpoints. Say we were going over to this. And sure, down to this one, why not? Ooh. Back up to this one. It's actually not too bad. I mean, you hit max speed, but not for like a long time. Nothing wrong with hitting max speed sometimes. Is this a crash course in singers? Oh, got my ass. Should put a bunch of crash races at the bottom of that channel for sure. Yeah. Slowly are coming in hot to the chat today. That's funny. Here for it. All right, we'll do a start time when we're actually in motion here. Rolling start. Rolling start. Jeez Louise. Oh, man. All right. Let's try that lap time again. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is so embarrassing. You wouldn't know I just released a canyon run video. Up here, and then where's that one down there? That one up high kind of makes you think you're supposed to go to that one. This one's almost kind of hard to see. That was a bad approach. Then we have to hit that and then zoom back up again to that one. I don't hate this section. I think that back canyon's got to be dialed in a little bit. Didn't crash. Didn't crash there on that time. This is about call it, if I were to hit the checkpoints right, call it a minute 15-second lap. No, it just makes you wonder how. Hey, I could go do the canyon run video right now and nail it in one take. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Good lap time. Yeah, I do think that is a good lap time. That's what I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make this section. This is sort of the problem corners, figuring out the best way to transition here. I guess maybe off the side of this rock would probably feel pretty good, because this one feels awkward now. Just everything with this corner has been just awkward. See, I think if you come off the side of this, might not even need that one if we have this here. Let's see. So we have to come over that lip. Probably about, let's see. We're going to trace the line, come up that lip, come around here. Yeah, let's put it sticking out this right here. High enough so we don't have to drop again. Yeah, I like between a minute and 90 seconds, I think is a good lap time to aim for. Especially since we're doing like time trials initially. Like if you have a really long course, it's harder to learn the course. There's a bunch of checkpoints. If you like can just memorize a few corners, it's much easier when you're running through the laps to be like, all right, I gotta like make this adjustment on turn 4 or whatever. But if there's like 20 checkpoints, it's like 30 or 40. It gets could be a little too much sometimes. It depends how you set it up. Like there's some courses, right, where there's like a bunch of checkpoints like one after the other, so it's like a smooth line. But if it's like this where they're spaced out and you kind of come into each one blindly, having a bunch can be sort of hard to track. But the other thing too is if you're doing time trials, if you're under 90 seconds, then like it reduces the chances of like one error messing up your lap. Like if you have like a 4-minute track, then like if you make an error like 2.5 minutes in, you're like, all right, well I just screwed up this whole lap time, and then like it's pretty much a useless lap. Whereas the quicker laps, you can sort of be like, I made a mistake, let's just do better next time. You know what I mean? Not gonna lie, I kind of better like the idea of following that canyon all the way along and up than swinging it around the mountain, rather than just swinging up before it ends. I mean, an up-down track. Yeah, so there would be different kinds for like, because there's some canyons are pretty long, so you could do a full point-to-point in some canyons. I mean, here it hits the end. Are you just talking like over here, like on this corner where Ribby, you talking about this corner here? Because I'm going to put a huge like derelict ship there that sort of blocks off that canyon. And there'll definitely be like a point-to-point canyon track. I think with a race that goes straight through a canyon, I think what I'd like to do with that kind of a race is maybe have a little bit higher of a top speed, since you'll be at max speed pretty much all the time. But on that one, it'd be a point-to-point, and that would be more of like the smuggling class race where you're racing to the end of the canyon, load up your cargo, and like you're hauling your cargo back. That would be sort of a good lure for like a point-to-point sort of canyon run, because some of the canyons are fun to fly through. After the chicane, you basically started doing what I was talking about as soon as I hit enter. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you that that one cutting just straight up there was awkward. I like kind of following this feature a little bit better. All right, just kind of running the line here to see how it's feeling. This one's pretty low. We'll see. Actually, it might be okay now with that one there. This checkpoint, that'll definitely be the left side of the checkpoint. I think the checkpoint will sort of be on the right side of this, because that's sort of the natural feeling when you're coming up. Because if the terrain can sort of inform you on the corners, it makes the race a little bit easier to navigate. Then you hit here, back down again. All right, how many checkpoints is that we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. It's not a bad little course. Let's race that. get a little speed here. Rolling laps. Rolling starts are definitely the way for races. We're not going to really be able to do rolling starts in this game, but unless for rolling starts, back to our timer where we could have like a gate that's like covers the start finish line. So there could be, you could do a rolling start where there's a timer and you choose when you want to start going, but if you're too early, you like run into the gate. It's kind of interesting. Wow, can I not hit the chicane when I start my laps? That'd be great. So yeah, follow the canyon up. Hit this corner. Right about there. Hit this corner. Tuck you in there. Pretty much stall. Come up here. Fight gravity. Come through there. Come through there. Down in the hole. Braking early, braking early. Still didn't brake early enough. I feel like the 6 vertical thrusters would be really useful for this track. There. Jeez Louise. Boy. I'm just so used on that concept course, just like always hammering down W, but it's not gonna be the case for this one. I'm trying to reset my lap timer. Come on, here we go. Chicane might be a little too big. The hole is too small, rather. I think I put it a little too far to the left, but we'll see. I don't hate it. Something to learn. Ooh, that corner is actually tricky. You actually really have to brake around that corner. I think the meta is going to be flicking the ship around as fast as possible at the bottom of the channel and drifting around the corner. Yeah, we'll see. That's also like not the easiest way to race sometimes either. Well, I guess it depends. If it's like a flick ship that also has a ton of thrust in one direction, which is sort of what would be the goal for a ship build like that. We don't have a maximum on gyros. I didn't see a need yet to set one. We'll see if it becomes too meta or not to do that. But you know, gyros are pretty heavy, but I think what we would want to avoid is just like if a ship is just thrusters and gyros, that would be kind of defeat the purpose. So as long as it's not exploited too much, I'm not too worried about a max on gyros, but we'll figure it out as we're going along here. So this one's got 6 vertical thrusters on it. I'm just curious to test this one out. Is there a way to get 2 mediums to the back? Let's also take this thruster out. And let's put this on the back. Just anywhere, just to... So 6 vertical, 1 medium, 1 large in the back. I think this one has all the other thrusters on it already. Yeah, 24. I'm just curious to see how this one how this configuration does. Yeah, the amount of gyros affect how fast you roll. It doesn't. The amount of gyros doesn't have an impact on rolling. And I don't know if that's going to change or not. I know when they first did a big update, when they updated, when they added this like aim look to maneuver, which is a great feature, so much better. The rolling was like way overtuned. Like every time you press Q or E, it would like roll 90 degrees. They tuned it down a little, and I thought it would be tied to gyros, but like it actually doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't affect gyros, which is interesting. I'm not sure what the logic is there for that. Like if I put this big boy on, well, it'll probably fall out of the sky if I do this. Wow, it still holds. It's still the same roll speed. as when it's not there. Oh boy, now we're falling, So still rolls, same speed. So it's not impacted by gyros. If gyros does impact roll speed, then maybe we set a max on gyros or something. But right now it doesn't, which is interesting. I don't know if that's going to change later, if it's just a temporary thing. Just sort of taking it as it comes, the moment. Oh, turn too soon. Nope. Actually, that was pretty good. Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, these 6 thrusters are really keeping me out of trouble. Thought it might. When I sketched my next build, I was trying to decide between prioritizing back thrust or prioritizing vertical thrust, and it seems vertical thrust is... Yeah, that corner would actually be better to hit without dampeners on. Turn dampeners off for a second. Probably would have missed that one, but that's all right. Six vertical thrust feels pretty good, not gonna lie. Came in wide on this turn. Whoa! Crashed into the derelict ship there. Huh, okay. Well, what do you guys think about this line? Ignoring the fact that I'm crashing all the time. Be a little easier to visualize once I actually have the checkpoints up. That turn is hard. Can always have that checkpoint jut out from the side of the cliff more if it really feels bad. There's a spot that it just feels bad for the racing line, and if it just is completely awkward, I'll make adjustments accordingly. That one's actually not the easiest to transition to either. Oops. That's one way to brake. Ah, jeez. Sometimes when these things get smushed upside down on voxel, they kind of get stuck because not too many of us are putting a lot of downward thrust on them. I don't know that I really have any other than just like dialing in the line a little bit, just shifting checkpoints to left to right a little bit. I think I kind of like the position of all these. Might start putting checkpoints in. Give us a gauge of how it's going to feel to actually hit the objectives. This turn still feels a little awkward. I might move the checkpoint just probably to that ridge there just to make it a little more easier to see. Do it. And this one, I'll probably move a little bit more right just so it's a little closer to where the terrain is at. Probably move it a little closer to the edge too, so you can see it as you're approaching it. Nice, you just move 3,000 kilograms. There you go. Easy peasy. Then this one, it's actually kind of a tricky angle to hit, but that's where practice makes perfect. Okay, let's park this guy. Actually have to go use the restroom really quickly, and then we'll start putting checkpoints in. Let me do that real quick. I'll be back in just a flash. Less than a minute, I'll be gone. Watch this, though. I have this cool be right back screen. All right, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. All right, time to make some checkpoints. I should have set my split time for my bathroom break. I'm curious how the short stream is doing. Are any of you watching on the short stream, or are you guys on the main one? Because YouTube allows dual streaming now, so it's streaming to both. How dare you? All right, let's start with our start-finish line here. Oh, we got to grab our checkpoint. Let's copy it from here. Actually, maybe even have it. Nah, that's where the antenna's at. It's got to be that. Copy. I might shave a little bit off the side of this chicane. Just a little scoosh. Just a few small blocks. Maybe just one row off the top. All right, and then we can even just build our checkpoint off the side of the chicane. Oh, it's going to be probably stick down too low. Oh, the chicane's not even level. Never mind, not going to do that. We'll just put it in front of it. In front of it, behind it. Gravity line. Watch our game crash as we paste it in. It's funny because like the frame rates stay the same and everything. It just has a really hard time handling this. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Let me paste you. Gosh dang it. Oh. Maybe my chicane's in the way. Something is misbehaving. Let me just get rid of the chicane for a sec, because the checkpoint itself might serve as a chicane just because might be off to the side of the valley anyway. Plus, that's not our actual detailed chicane we're going to use, so what's the difference? Let me fly. It's weird. I don't always have performance issues when placing blueprints. It's just this checkpoint specifically has an issue. I don't know if it's just based on the totals. Maybe it's just because it's so big. It's not a ton of PCU, but it's just dimensionally large. Hey, Logo, welcome in. Courses will be even harder as well when you have to avoid other players. Yeah, yes. Ain't that the truth? Oh, no, it really didn't. There really isn't a chicane there with that in there. Well, we'll draw the chicane back in. We're just drafting anyway still, so. Now this one will be tricky because, let's see. I guess I don't have to have it. I was thinking I'd have it sort of right at the end, so you sort of had to go through it and you were kind of forced to deal with the hill, but I could actually just sort of put it across on this hill here and down low. And that would sort of serve a similar goal. I think too with this course, these checkpoints might be too big. I actually was working on a concept for a new checkpoint. This stream is sponsored by the word chicane. We're building a race course, man. It's the only feature I have. Chicane and hairpins. New drinking game. Every time Diggrok says chicane, we're going to take a drink of water because we're responsible. Does that match the slope? I think so. Seems the fact that it was that chicane that was causing our issues placing the checkpoint down. That's a little too... It's a little too awkward. I think it should be... Let's try here. Let's get our camera level with the slope there, and then we'll level our block with the camera. Can't drink and fly. That's right. We're a racing league. We promote responsible, safe, sober flying. Looks a little better, ignoring the fact it's clipping. We'll have to make... I'll probably make... When I'm actually decorating this course, I'll probably actually just make the checkpoints follow the terrain in the area a little bit better. So they might be a little bit different sizes as you go through. Because if it's clipping into the wall, what's the point anyway? So... all right, this one was sort of a little tricky guy. It was hard to see because you sort of blindly kind of come into these corners, and the terrain kind of doesn't really load until you're like 5 feet away from it sometimes. So, all right, Ire, thanks for hanging out. If you don't subscribe to Ire, go check out his YouTube page. He makes a lot of content as well. Does a lot of streams and stuff. And I'll get the Streamlabs thing set up that does it automatically. So all that way, because there's other content creators in here too, I'll set it up like what you have on your stream, Ire, where when you first chat, it drops a little ping to the channel. The more we can grow all these SE2 communities, the better. Because I would love to see SE2 become way bigger than SE1. This game has a lot of potential. And more eye candy we can put out in the world. Get people checking this game out, the better. Let's see, we'll get rid of this antenna. Now. No loose blocks. Little vertical one there gives you room to kind of drift through it. It probably might be too far away from the cliff, but again, I'll fix that later. We're just getting the course kind of sussed out right now. Because like the supports, I'll add like supports from the bottom and stuff. It'll look like an actual race course. All right, now that we're replacing this, I only put this here because this is a flat spot, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the flat spot. Like it could be here if we felt that climb was a little too slow. Just fun to have a little bit of drop. Let's see. Let's pretend like we were approaching this as though we were racing. See, is this about 300 meters a second? Zoom, 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 zoom. Because this is kind of it's a very awkward corner because you cut in, so your momentum's that way. So you have to cancel that momentum and climb, but also still turn left, which I don't Love the feeling of that. Yeah, exactly. Can't wait for the first race to get uploaded and absolutely blows up. Yeah, hopefully we can. Luckily, the worlds. I think the worlds when you're in. I don't know if I can view the worlds workshop from this window. No, I can't. But I think the worlds workshops. They don't. Some of them don't have. There's less competition for like likes in there, so I think it's easier to like rank up the workshop. Because if we can have a high ranked racing world, then that can be like a really great awareness for the league, because we can put in the description about this league and stuff like that, and that'll bring a lot more butts in the seat. Because the more people we can have in this racing league, then like when we have multiplayer, it'll be way easier to start up like a race kind of spontaneously, because we can just sort of like, all right, guys, going live at this time. If you want to join the server and race, we're going to be racing for a couple hours, and people can just hop in and race. And I used to play a lot of Halo 3 back in the day, and I was a big like Forge creator guy. I loved having I'm gonna try putting a level real quick to see how this plays out. Made a lot of like custom maps and like infection, like zombie maps in that game. And one thing I loved in that game was I'd always, my Xbox limited your friends list to 100 people, so I'd always keep my friends list full of people that were just like active players. And some people were like, can I get on your friends list so I can get like an invite? Because you can like on Xbox, if anybody remembers back in the day, like the M2AF, the message to all friends, you could message all your all 100 friends at one time. So you'd be like, message all friends, I'm starting you know, a custom infection lobby or whatever. Feel free to join if you want to, you know, let me know if you want to. I'm sending everyone an invite or whatever, and I could get a game going in like a few seconds. It was pretty great. Get 16 people in there. Let me get a car. Let me get a racer here and see how this feels. I have one down here. No, it's just my antenna. Oh, Renegade! Value! Okay. Okay, too fast. People could even join just to be in the stands and watch. Yeah, well, actually, which would be great. Like if people wanted to like hang out, but they didn't want to race, it would be really cool to set them up on a corner. That's like that corner back there. That's like the hairpin corner. It'd be, or like anything where people are like kind of drifting over the top of a ridge. It would be really great to like have just a spectator camera set up there. So somebody who's there just recording, it'd be like super cool B-roll to have in the video. So yeah, spectators for sure welcome. Absolutely. See, now we're just max speeding through all this. Now it's too easy. Oh, that's right. It's not low anymore. Whoa. Well, what the heck? Now that I had checkpoints, this race is too easy. What gives? Getting better at that corner. Didn't say I was perfect. Just getting better. See how this chicane feels with this checkpoint. It's non-existent now. Need to add that detail back. What going on the left side of your ship HUD? Are you talking the that like timer up there, that's 0.00? Or are you just talking how the character things are all like say 100 and they're flashing red? If it's the character one, it's because I'm in the spectator camera and the I don't have like a physical body, so those just appear all funny. If I switch to my character, they appear normal. Break. There we go. Getting better at that section. This part's too easy now. I gotta add some more variability there. Even this section's a little too easy. Yeah, spectator camera is nice when you're building stuff, because you can like change your like speed of how you can fly around and stuff like that. Super nice. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna add, now this is placed, I'm gonna add this back. I don't want to say chicane too much yet. Let's see, let's gravity align this. I think these checkpoints are definitely way too big for this map. I think it's making it way too easy. So we'll definitely make them smaller, and that'll help. Like initially this chicane hole was about this size, and now you can see with the checkpoint, it's like dwarfs in comparison. Because that was our chicane hole, and the checkpoint's like 4 times the size of that. In this corner, now that it goes up there, it's like this section's too easy now. It like lost the challenge. Now that they're actually there. Because before I was trying to fly pretty close to the antenna. How can I make that more difficult? Let's get back in our racer here. Let's also get rid of, since we have a checkpoint here, just get rid of this antenna. You've served your purpose. Get another checkpoint that hugs the right side to make the turn sharper. It hugs the right side, like up like put it up here on here, so you have to hit that and then cut that way. Could be an option. Oh, I gotta get rid of this lower antenna. This is throwing me off every time I hit this corner. Let's just do a reset this way. Cut that. Try that again now that I'm not aiming for the lower checkpoint. Donk. This section up here definitely feels interesting. Whoa. It's going to be interesting to see the balance of caution and speed through a lot of these corners. Let's try to scale with our chicane now. Yep, definitely adds some complexity. Breaks up the straight a little bit. Yeah, this section's just a little too easy. That one's decently, at least takes at least to get to this one, it takes a little bit of maneuvering. I mean, maybe it's not bad that it feels. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having a smooth racing line area. I think I'll just play it as it lies right now and build the other checkpoints. And once we have our full lap set up, we'll sort of address it again. The size of this course feels pretty good, though. I like that it's pretty quick. It'll be a good circuit. You'll probably have to deal with lap traffic, maybe even potentially, if someone's really having a bad race. Oops. All right, I need to copy the checkpoint again. So this one, we wanted it a little more to the right and maybe a little closer to the cliff edge. I don't want to put it here because I don't want you to get stuffed by that stuff. I think just kind of where this antenna's at, just sort of filling in this gap would be good. Let's get this out of our way. see. What's the best angle here? Probably just kind of follow the ridge a little bit. Sorry, just checking something real quick. So the artwork that I put on Discord from before the stream, I used ChatGPT to enhance it. I built the structure myself and used the radar tower from the weather station. Yeah, I was wondering if it was Blender, if it was ChatGPT. I figured it was probably one of those two things. Oops, I don't know if that's gravity aligned. Look cool. The if you're submitting it to the keen screenshot, they don't want you to enhance it though. But if it's just for fun, then yeah, it definitely looked really cool. I liked like the dust and stuff. Enhance. Oh baby, that's big. Yikes. Hang on, my grandpa called me, left me a voicemail. I just want to make sure everything's good with that. You just butt dialed me. Left me a 2-minute voicemail of his pocket, I think. You sure did. That's funny. Nothing like a grandpa butt dial. Just for fun to show you what Wolf's talking about. He did this. Took a screenshot and ran it through ChatGPT to do like a little enhancement to it, which is kind of handy in a way because I know a lot of in SE1 people would run through Blender a lot to do like enhanced things, so it is kind of fun. You can just use ChatGPT to do like an enhancement thing like this. Very dramatic lighting. Discord links in the description if you want in on our shenanigans. This is crazy. This is too big. Let's put this. Let me put this block over here or something. Really, again, just making the case for the checkpoints to be smaller, which is hilarious because I was working on one that was way bigger, thinking it was necessary. Because sometimes flying on some courses, it's felt a little too small, but apparently that's not the case. Oh my gosh, come on, game. Don't know why it does not like pasting this grid. Added the logo in Photoshop. Well, yeah, I figured. Yeah, that much I assumed. All right, that's good enough there for now. See if the angle's off or not. And then this one will be tricky. I think this one probably should be vertical. We'll put it on. Also have the Blender concept art for it. Okay, I never messed around with like doing stuff like that in Blender to like enhance images and stuff. I know when people did it in SE1, it made a huge difference. God, there were some really sick Blender enhancements in SE1. Super cool. Let's just put it. Let's put our block here. Gravity align that beast. Oh, that's not attached to anything. Okay, good enough. This one is going to be the tricky one because the placement here is pretty important. I think we'll probably put it vertically here as well. Just getting a gauge of widths here. Just to give you some room to work with. I don't want you to be too punished if you hit it poorly. Let's put it about here. Place it in C. Originally a 3D model that was created from a cube, also copied the textures from the game. That was how you like started your build, you mean? It started with like a 3D thing? What's interesting with like using AI stuff too is like if you have like a rough idea for a ship, and maybe this is sort of what you were talking about you did, you can take like I've designed like a hull before of a ship. Well, it's close enough to the bottom. It doesn't have to be totally at the bottom. Call that good enough for now, just for practicing anyway. If you design like a whole design, you can take a screenshot of the whole design and like upload it to ChatGPT or whatever and be like, add some detail to this and make a hangar bay and stuff and have it just generate a few different ones and just see kind of like what kind of greebling it adds to it if you're ever looking for just ways to improve on an idea you have. I think what's interesting about having a hole in the bottom of this is if you like mess up your run, you can't like just use this hill as a break and scoot through. You actually have to go through the checkpoint. So if you're trying to cheese it and cut underneath of it, you get punished. There actually could even be a speaking of, let's get rid of that. You actually just even put a straight up wall underneath here. Really didn't want people to cheese it. No cheese allowed. There. That's that'll punish you if you try to cheat. I was going to ask too. I don't know how many people are in here. I guess we only have a couple in here right now. Do you guys generally like music in streams, or do you like streams to have no music so you can play your own music? Because I sometimes like to listen to streams. I like to play my own music. So that's why I usually don't put music in mine. But do you guys prefer music in streams so it's just there, or do you prefer to have your own music playing? Just out of curiosity, trying to just get a general gauge of that from people. I can also turn the game music on if you want some music. I know this is sort of since we're just sort of building and moving around, it's a little quieter. I think we'll have this checkpoint be a little lower. This one probably doesn't need to be vertical though, necessarily. Let's see, let's zoom out a sec. Let's put a block here. I think this is our last checkpoint. Yeah, it's just wide enough. This is being streamed for me, but design stuff like this, it's nice to have some ambient music. Okay, I can put this stuff together. Otherwise, in the meantime, sure how well. Does that come through? I have my master turned down so much. Hopefully, let me know if that's too loud. The master I have turned down just because sometimes the white noise in this game is really fatiguing when you're like designing stuff for a few hours. Ears get tired, so I like to turn the master down just so it's not too fatiguing. Especially if you got a bunch of antennas near your cockpit. The antenna sounds are rather striking. Put the Blender concept art. Honestly, the ChatGPT looks cooler. Got a laser antenna up there even. Got the little cell tower going on. You can prompt it. If you have antennas, you could prompt it to say like, hey, put like antenna tower or like cell tower things on the things also too. You can add little details to the prompt. Yeah, the antenna sound, I just don't like the static. The static is just really harsh sound. I do hope they dial that in a little bit. It's rather intense. Let's see if I get in here. Probably hear it. Yeah, that little static thing is so annoying. If it's near your cockpit and you're flying around, you hear it all the time. Try to keep my antennas like far away from my cockpit whenever I can. All right, we have all our checkpoints up. Let's run it. Oh, I still go low on that one. It's funny because the checkpoints are like look big, and even when you put your ship inside of them, they're super huge, but when you're flying, they feel so small sometimes. It's a weird illusion. Oh, gonna hit the cheese barrier. Gain control, gain control, gain control. Oof. Well, even on a bad lap, we just barely were over a minute. So this could be a sub-minute lap. A creepy low-pitched voice. I think it's like they teased that with like, have you heard the secret message thing or whatever? I don't know if I've clocked it exactly. I'm just so jarred by the static. Actually, you can kind of corkscrew over to this one. It's actually a pretty good entrance into this line. Ooh, when it's this tall, though, you can sort of cheese it up high. So I'll definitely bring the top down. Ooh, man. Of course, you can't go too fast because the hairpin's going to get you. Hairpin's going to get you. Under a minute that time. What do you think? Just from watching, what do you guys think? Any notes? Ooh, man, this one's still tricky. That turn seems like it's going to be way easier than it is. An illusion. This one's kind of fun that you can sort of corkscrew over to it. Oh, jeez. Missed it. Dirty lap. Didn't count. All right. Do a speed run here. Oh, pressed it a little soon. Pressed it at the chicane, not the finish line. Ooh, overshot, overshooting. Yeah. So much for our speed run. Still didn't even clear the checkpoint. curious to, I'll test this with some of these other builds here. See how it feels with a variety of thruster packages. This hairpin's going to be a really interesting corner. I like having a huge sharp corner like this where you basically have to come all the way to a near stop, though. I think that's super fun. Under a minute. That was a bad lap too. Does anybody here have like any of you guys like played like more realistic games or anything that race on like real courses? I'm just curious if anybody has interest in what people's general interest are in actual racing courses, like in real life and stuff. What are some of your guys' favorite tracks, if so? I know I got some favorites. I like Laguna Seca. I like Sukubu. I like Road America sometimes. Road Atlanta's fun. I'm gonna try the 6 thruster build one. Actually, let me try this with this like crazy missile build. This is the missile armored one. This is a Endless Flames build. This one's untamable. This thing just wants to go. Does not like stopping at all. Can't even get this thing lined up to the freaking start line. I just hate how you're at max speed through this whole section. Oh, missed. Oh, crash. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This one's really hard to fly. It's definitely a niche flying style, I'd say. Wow, cleared the hairpin actually pretty easily. Oh, so I did that. Reset my timer here. It's getting close to the same lap time though. Oops, bad start, bad start, bad start. Oh, gosh dang, this one's crazy. This one's ungovernable. All forward or all nothing. I wonder what kind of challenge I could add to this little section, and if maybe there doesn't need to be one. Oh man, this corner is actually really tough for this thing. Oh man, we're out of control. Definitely kind of flying blind a lot on some of these. You're sort of angling it and thrusting up when it feels like it's the right time. You definitely see why we're gonna not have damage on for these races though, because you would just, all the ships would just be destroyed immediately. Yeah, bad lap, bad line. Can't wait to have an actual lap timer though. Because I can't just like, I mean, I can set a split time thing. I guess I could set up 10 splits for this app. I think I have one loaded. Where's my live split? Open splits from file. Diggrok assets. Live split layouts? No. Components? No, I saved one somewhere. Where'd it go? I did make a 10 lap split one. Oh, open layout. Oh, 10 turn race. Select the file was not recognized. Oh, because the path's gone. Yeah, I had to remove all my files after the last Windows update. It like screwed up all my files. So annoying. Yeah, there it is. 10 turn race. All right, now I think I can actually. No, thought I could. Doesn't work like I thought I would. Definitely more fun, no damage. Yeah, for sure. Because otherwise you're like knocked out immediately. Now, I thought this was... This live split thing's supposed to be behaving. This is supposed to be like 10 splits, so I was supposed to be able to... It's supposed to, like, every time I press caps locks, it's supposed to, my hotkey, it's supposed to, unless I have a different key set for the splitting. And the freaking, gosh, I've spent a lot of time on Mac. I used to be a Windows guy, and then I had to switch to Apple for work one time, and there's just so many things that Apple just is so much better at that this is really bad at. Like, when I open the settings, the window is like on my other screen, and the top of the window is like off the thing, which is like, why is it off the screen? So I can't like grab it and move it. So it's like I can't access the settings I need to because the top is cropped. It's just like things like that just don't happen on a Mac. Managing Windows is really bad on PC. It's like, can somebody from Microsoft just like go use like a Mac for just like a day and just see? There's a lot of things they could draw from it that they've improved on. That would just be much better to have in here as well, but whatever. But guess what you can't do on a Mac is play video games. So probably spent equal hours at this point in my life on PC and Mac. Probably still more on PC, but Apple OS is definitely better. It's just their hardware has extreme limitations. All right, run more and more lap with this one, and then I'm going to try the 6 thruster one. Because I run a lot of, I do graphic design, so I run a lot of the Adobe software, and there's so many quirks that just happen and like errors and bugs all the time on Windows. My whole life using it, and I started using a Mac, and none of those things ever appeared. I was like, wow, these apps aren't broken. It's just they don't work well on Windows. Good to know. Ah, man. Eternal Flame, your ship is ungovernable. Yeah, it definitely is. That checkpoint can't be that high. It makes this turn a little too easy. But even with all those errors on this lap, it's still under a minute. It's like, that's just like kind of how, but I never messed with Linux. I probably won't ever will because I don't really have the time to learn something like that. I think it's a little more, requires a little more work, doesn't it? It seems like Linux, you're sort of your own worst enemy. If you like, if something is bad in a ride, it's more on you, since you're sort of more of a, you're setting the system up yourself. I don't really know a ton about Linux. I think every operating system has its pros and cons. Although honestly, I honestly really don't know many pros to Windows over Mac OS. It's just that PCs are just a better value than Apple hardware is. The hardware is undeniable, but yeah, the hardware can run Linux, so it's not like a Windows thing. Like Microsoft had nothing to do with my computer. They just it's just the operating system. Never messed with Linux. So my cousin's he's switching to Linux. He's getting, when he does a new computer, he's doing a full Linux build. I am extremely ignorant on Linux though, so I don't have an opinion on it. I do like that it seems like you can. All right, I'm not even gonna fly this back to the top. I'm just gonna fucking leave this here because flying it back and parking it is too hard. The only way to get it to stop is to turn it off and throw it at the ground. Just mostly testing it just to see if it's meta or not. All right, let's try the 6 thruster, 6 down one. You recorded the antenna sound? Oh, the low voice one. What does it say? Because they've kind of said it's sort of like an Easter egg. Is it audible what it's saying? Is it in English or is it in like another language? Or is it alien? Spooky. Or is it in what's the name of the, like, wow, bad start. The acolytes or whatever, the ones that they say have been like here for a while. Okay, I cannot gain control of the ship. What is going on? All right, I'm gonna run this lap, and I'm not gonna look at chat. It's from a trailer for the game. Literally, it's just the first game teaser. Oh, it's like just the audio from the trailer. That's funny. Six vertical thrust is pretty nice. Ooh, missed. Dirty lap. I said I was going to look at chat, and I looked at chat, and I almost crashed. But I didn't. I live for chats. Key to this section here is staying low, because you want, if you come too high to this chicane, it really messes with you. Oops, case in point. But that would have been like a 55-second lap, so that's about what the missile runner was doing. Speaking of runner, I should see what the mission runner can get as a lap time on this course. It's hydrogen, so it's a horribly unfair comparison, and it has way more thrusters. But I wonder if I could get it to run a sub 45. Yeah, 6 thrusters makes it way easier to stay in your line. For sure. Slow corkscrew approach, but lined up good. Oops. Oh, I almost hit that. Oh, and I just assumed I was going to hit it, and I just stopped. I just bailed on my racing line. Dang. Would you say a backwards thrust is the least needed direction for thrusters? No, I think the side thrust is the least. Side and down. I'd say down is the least needed. You still need some, just because if you actually don't have any downwards thrust, then sometimes the dampeners will actually make your ship constantly rise. So down is the least needed, but you should still have some. You should have some in all direction, obviously. Down's the least needed. Side's the second least. Front the third, and then up and then forward, I'd say is the order. At least initially. It's actually kind of hard to line up for this corner. It is sort of a blind corner. It's a pretty long distance between. Because like the backwards thrust, if you like need to stop or like slow down, like sometimes you are just overshooting, you need to slow down so you can like break down into the checkpoint you're supposed to go through. But if you don't have any brake, then you lose that entirely. So because like right now I don't press backwards much, but I'm flying with dampeners on right now. So often if I need to slow down, I just let off the throttle. When I first was doing racing, I actually would keep dampeners off all the time, but then I started having them on, and I'm like, actually, it is pretty useful having them, especially if you hit something like that. Having dampeners on helps you recover faster, but also you just kind of end up in some weird scenarios where you're kind of spiraling, kind of in a funny way, or you're drifting in a weird way, and just having dampeners on sort of helps alleviate that a little bit, especially since we don't have like joysticks. Like if we had joysticks, I probably wouldn't have dampeners on. But it's sometimes kind of hard to. Dang, keep nicking that corner. Did that last time too. But it just kind of depends on how you like the feel. I mean, like in the case of Flame's build, where it's like the missile build, like he only has 2 thrusters for every direction except for forward, and he has 2 medium ones holding you upright, which are necessary. But so it goes really fast in one direction, and that's sort of how you just have to brake and everything. So if you want to slow down, you kind of got to turn around and slow down, and then you're flying blind. But if that's like how you want to race, then it's to each their own. But I'd say for me, I think sideways is the least important. The Renegade's got 2 medium ones on the side, and I do actually sometimes use them because I know it has it. Like here, like that, where I was drifting kind of high, like I'd probably use the side ones to adjust it. So it's just a matter of how much you want to sacrifice control in one direction for better control in another. Ooh, like there, I just hit the brakes there because I was coming in way too hot. I still crashed, but it would have been worse if I didn't have brakes. Oops, I was trying to get cute there. We're turning dampeners on and off. All right. I got control. That's the other thing with the damage off is you still sometimes when you hit stuff, you really lose control pretty bad sometimes. So I'm gonna run one more lap with this and see if we can get a good clean lap. Don't look at chat. Don't look at chat. Don't look at chat. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Run your lap. It's only a minute. You can go 1 minute without looking at chat. You can do it. Oh, I missed the checkpoint. 30 lap. Gotta clean up some of these checkpoints over here because this corner is a little crazy looking at. I missed that checkpoint too. I blame all those extra signals that don't need to be there. Bad entry here. We're on a clean lap, he says. Does he? Not really. Man, I've missed like 3 checkpoints. And I just looked at chat. Oh my gosh. I'm out of control. Well, 51, but granted I missed a few checkpoints. Start moving ships to the start-finish line down here that I actually want to use. The other thing I wanted to test is the... why can't I stop this build? What is going on? The other one I wanted to test was the 3 thrusters in the back with the 4 vertical. Let's get rid of this antenna. I don't need this. Turn off the antenna and the Renegade. Have I even ran a lap with this in the Renegade yet? I think I did. Since it was completed, I think I timed one. All right, so this one's got 3 in the back, 4 vertical, 1 reverse. Although this is not how I would configure it. Ideally, if I were to set this up, this is Dokiwaki's build. I've just been chopping it up since it's so close to weight, and the thrusters are easy to access. I double brake this one. Although this extra thruster could also be used for a vertical thrust or a 4th one in the back. That's why I use this build, because it's or their build. I don't need to like take it apart to mess with the thrusters. Everything's just sort of exposed. Because the sketch I have for the next build, I actually don't even know. I'll build a hole and see. Why is this not? I'm severely missing side thrust. That's what's going on. Good to know. So side thrust is more important than I say it is. The build I sketched out is this configuration of thrusters, but I don't know if I can greeble it to be the mid-weight or not. That'll sort of be the determining factor if it becomes a smuggler ship or not. This Dokiwaki's ship is interesting in that it looks like it should be like an ultralight ship because it's sort of spaced out more, but it ends up being kind of the same weight as everybody else's racers, but it just, because it's more spaced out, it looks like it's super light, which is kind of cool because it sort of has the look of a really fast, lightweight race ship, but it weighs the same as everybody else's. Sort of just a fun way to greeble it. I just knew that was a bad approach. Ground actually kind of helped me there a little bit. May have actually given me a time boost. This ground will not. That will hold me back. Oh, geez. Crazy things happen when you bounce around crashing in this game. Try this again, another lap. New timer. I started it late. Shoot. Sometimes I press the button and it doesn't start. Slow down in that corner. I usually don't slow down on there, but it helped me go through it a little bit better. This is also a tricky spot. I haven't figured out this line yet very well. That was a huge swing and a miss. You can definitely get delivered into this canyon very awkwardly if you hit the line wrong. Ah, bad lap. Why am I so bad at this? Reset the timer. Ah, man, yeah, not having that side is rough, actually. And this isn't exactly how I would have. Like I'd have when I counted it, I think I had the one I want to build. I want to have 9 side thrusters. Like this is, gosh, this thing just drifts like crazy. You don't realize it until you're like trying to stop. Yeah, you should build a racer, Stone Lords. Absolutely. Can't be building all these sick racing mods and not have a racer. Oh man, why am I just biffing these lines? Maybe this isn't the thruster configuration for me. Jeez Louise, just like cannot quite hang. I think I like the 6 vertical thrusters better than the 3 in the back. Like take the 2 extras out of the back and put them vertical. So at least then I can stop my drifting a little bit. I think that checkpoint needs to be fixed a little bit. I feel like I keep getting delivered into the canyon, not ideally. Let's go park this back by the checkpoint. Gosh. Yeah, not having the side thrust actually. More and more realizing it's kind of a drag. That's the thing. Is like you know, go through the collection link down below for all of the for everyone's builds, and just kind of like see what, you know, especially if you haven't built one yet, just see what like thruster configuration works for you, because all these are pretty similar weights. It's just mostly, you know, aside from greebling, a lot of it's just thruster package. So you can kind of run through and sort of see what package feels good to you, what layout, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. Like now I'm kind of liking the side thrust. Like maybe I'm thinking I don't need as much acceleration if I can have a little side thrust. But the question is, can I run a 50-second lap time? Interesting. So you can't actually line up that approach to just drive straight through that chicane. And like when like turning sideways, the side thrust is nice. Oops, turned it in a little too early. That's all right. We could still set our best time. The Renegade's so good. Just kidding. Jack Andrews, hello. Just found your racing stuff on Shorts yesterday, and I'm heavily invested. I gotta pull my PC out this weekend and boot up SE2 to build my own. Heck yes, you should. Be sure to hit that Discord link if you aren't already in there. I'm sure you already did if you found the racing stuff. Here's the I have this fancy button for this. Here's my fancy button. Oops, wrong button. It's going. Oh no, it's not working. Dang, I have a fancy link button and it's not working. Shoot. Well, Discord link's in the description anyway. But yeah, definitely. So we put all the racers in a collection. So if you want to see the things people have built, there's a link for it's below, but it's also in the Discord. I have a pinned messages in the Racing League tab, and we have a collection we're putting together of everybody's smuggler builds that are class specific. And as we have more classes, we'll have more collections and stuff like that. And once we get to, I think we have 8 in there now. Once we get to 10, I'll probably do like a community build highlight, and then when we get another 10, I'll do another one, and I'll just keep doing highlight community streams for builds and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll be doing time trials events soon with like prizes and stuff. Just in Discord, we'll do like we'll just hop on like a chat in the Discord where you can like live stream, you know, the little voice chats or whatever, and just time everybody will get like so many laps or whatever. So yeah, it's a good time to get involved with racing, and glad to have you on board. Stone Lords, the way I see it, backwards thrusters you rarely sort of use because you never slow down ahead of you since you usually turn, so the side thrusters would be more important, even maybe down thrusters. Yeah, I mean, I do brake quite a bit, especially on this one. I've been pressing it quite a bit, or just when I'm like getting off the gas, I use it to decelerate faster. But yeah, just again, racing style. I mean, if you don't think you need them, by all means, don't use them. There we go. That's how that turn's supposed to go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Corkscrew this, I should have kept rolling the other way. This is kind of an actual, little more technical section than it looks. And I always never prepare for the drop. I keep aiming straight through that checkpoint when you gotta really start aiming down. Gonna crash. We're gonna crash. And yeah, and again too, like the backwards thrust thing, I think it'll be just track dependent. Like I'm definitely gonna have different builds for different courses. There's definitely not like I don't think there's one type of configuration that's good for all courses, which is good. It shouldn't, that shouldn't be the case. That'd be kind of dumb if that was the case. See, I got cute with the braking there to try to make that turn tighter. And same here. I get off the gas coming around. Ugh, slugged through there. All right, angle down, angle down, angle down. I gotta number these turns so I can remember easier. Like, okay, coming into turn 6, angle down. See, braking here. Go, 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 go. That's where it's nice to have an extra thruster in the back. How well can we cut this corner on the chicane? Pretty well. 52 seconds. We hit 51, I believe. 50 with another build. Granted, this was a pretty clean lap, but there were definitely some areas that could be faster. I probably overbroke in some areas. Let me name these checkpoints. Now that we're getting to this phase. And I keep forgetting to turn this one off. I'm just going to actually, I think at this point, I can just delete this checkpoint entirely. Just copy another one if I need it. All right, so we got our start finish down here. I can't wait to decorate this course. Our PCU right now is 158,000, which is pretty high. A lot of that though is because we got all these ships in here. Obviously, you'll need room to paste one ship, and when we have multiplayer, we'll everyone will have their own PCUs, and there's a mods to increase it, but I'd like to not have people have to have mods. Like them to list to work in vanilla. I do hate that I pretty much, to practice with this and test it, you have to have debug mode on to turn off destruction. So every time you load this now, it'll say, you know, this was modified with the debug menu. You sure you want to open it? I guess this is one. We'll call that turn 1. This will be 2. I'm so excited though to get into multiplayer and get multiple ships in here racing. It's going to be so sweet, guys. This game is going to be incredible. Get a debug menu under under the entity tab. You can set grids to NPC, so use their. Oh, I was kind of wondering if that was the case, if you could do that or not. I hadn't looked at it, but I figured you probably could, because that's what they do for, you know, it's how they do set up all the NPC stuff. So that's good to know. I will definitely do that. That way, when people load in to the world, nothing's counted towards their PCU. Let's see. So you said it's under. Let me just find it now. Entity. Set owner. Okay. Selected cube grid. Set owner. NPC. Okay. So do I just have to? Do I just have to look at the? Do I just have to look at the grid to do that, or do I have to like be accessing a menu, or do I have to be inside the grid? Do I have to like have a control seat? see, 158,631. I'll mess with it in an alternate save. I don't want to mess with it in this one, just I don't want to accidentally mess something up, but that's good to know. That is exactly what I will do. That's good, because then I can have a big derelict shipped. We tried my eraser yet? It's not the right type. Oh, I did try yours. You're talking the, what'd you call it? I have it in here. The Captain Zoom Zoom. This one was crazy. It was another one that couldn't, that had limited thrust in other directions. I couldn't get it to stop. It definitely just wants to zoom. It's one of those ships again where as long as you're at full speed, it's great. When you're slowing down or like trying to turn, it was pretty rough. I'll do a lap here in that one real quick. Let me just rename these real quick. I did like the aesthetic of the ship though. It's cool. It's a cool little ship. Was this 4 or 5? It was 4, 2, 3. Yeah. 4. Oh, we got 2 antennas here. Which one do we not need? Don't need this one. Antenna. 5. Stone, is there a way to at the top of that list is a list of Oh, I see. Okay. Nice. Sick. That's great. Awesome. I appreciate that. That's a huge help. Appreciate you, Stone Lords. Let's see. That was number 5. That's good, because I was a little nervous about some of these decorations. I'm like, man, it's gonna get up quick. Like, I'm really gonna have to be rudimentary, even though the game can support more. I wasn't sure if we could do stuff like that, so that's good. That was on my to-do list, so one less thing to do. Is your Stone? Is your is that mod for the checkpoint things? Is that uploaded somewhere to like place those, or how did you build those with those checkpoints? With the contract blocks and everything. And is there a way to, do you know if there's a way, like when you complete a lap, if it resets them? Okay, they're all named now. Okay, so let's bring in, oops, let's get this out of the way. Actually, let's leave it there. It'd be hilarious if I crash into it on the lap. Let's bring in Wolf ship here. Captain Zoom Zoom. Wait, it doesn't have, I thought I liked it. Hang on, let me like it. There we go. Try to like everybody that shares ships. By the way, if you like the Renegade Smuggler, click the link below and press like so it more people can find out about the racing league. I also do like having like cockpits you can enter into. I think that's super cool. All right, so this is Captain Zoom Zoom. I'm gonna turn the antennas off. Captain Zoom Zoom, go Zoom Zoom. So there's the 3 thrusters on the side, and there's no downward thrust. Oh, there's 2 in the back there. I was gonna say having at least something just so that way it doesn't just infinitely rise. Obviously, this is not Smuggler Class compliant. We have 4 or 5 meter things on here, but he didn't build it to be, Wolf didn't build it to be class specific. It's just for fun. Cool little racer. Got some fun shape though. Fun greebles. All right, let's do a lap here. Let me get some distance so I can get some speed. So currently the visual checkpoints of bubble and arrow I have to set up be placed 2 ways. One is that's a block that can go in place in survival mode, so it's a hologram. Its current visual checkpoints of bubble and arrow I've set up to be placed 2 ways. Okay, one is that block can go and place in survival. So second way is they are placed using the prefab placer in the debug menu. Boy, I don't even know what the prefab placer is. Oh, it has a hydrogen thruster on it. All right, let's see what it does. Yeah, I don't know what the prefab placer is. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whew. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah! It probably could use a little more gyro. Like I can't come around on that at all to hit it. Oh no. Oh, I hate being stuck with the top against the voxels on some of these. It's hard to get it off. When in doubt, thrust it out. Fuck. I can't. Yeah, I remember it was built before the rules were made. Yeah, this was one of the first race ships posted. It definitely needs more gyro. Oh my gosh. This was my experience the first time I flew this around. I think this thruster package is more favored for more open racing, I'd say. More just like things with big sweeping turns. Yeah, definitely needs more gyro. These turns are impossible. Yeah, if you see half the lap is spent looking at the under the voxel, the inside of the race world, mistakes have been made. It definitely accelerates fast, though. That is for sure. Come on, finish clanging. Finish clanging. You done? All right, forward ho. I just can't. It's uncontrollable. Yeah, of some extra gyro would go a long ways. You could even just, if you don't have much interior space, you could even attach it to some of those antenna things sticking out the back. You can also, oops. Yeah, music room for. You could even replace some of this like external greeble with them. You could line them on the corners there. You could even use them. They actually look good for cockpit greeble too. Yeah, you already got some up there. Just for funsies, you just add a bunch just to see what it feels like with more. Let me just add a big one back here, just to over exaggerate it. Flawless. Doesn't even impact the silhouette of the ship. I'm facing backwards now. It's all right. What is this course? Actually, how's this course run backwards? I was curious to figure out. Well, this is not the ship, I guess, to figure out how well it runs backwards. I was curious if the hairpin should go the other way. Honestly, when I was building it, I was wondering if I should do it this way. Buzzing. And maybe sometimes you run courses in reverse. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Probably would require a different world instance though, just because the checkpoint system wouldn't really work in reverse, but so you'd have to have two world states. Although ideally in the future, I'm sure we can set, when we have more controls in the mods and stuff, we could have it load the checkpoints in whatever order based on if we want to run forward or reverse. You could probably have it tied to like a button panel or something to flip the checkpoints. This is actually kind of cool, and this course is actually kind of cool in reverse too. Because one of the reasons I was running backwards, or thinking about backwards, because I was thinking about this last night, is if like you're running through the canyon naturally like this, one of the reasons you'd have to stop is because there's that derelict ship here I'm going to put in, and so you'd have to sort of, oh crud, there's a ship in the way, we got to turn this way, go up here. Yeah, I like what you started with this thing. You definitely, yeah, the having this big extra gyro makes a difference, but otherwise it just goes back to whether you like having just as a matter of personal preference, if you like having all the thrust sort of really skewed to certain vectors, or have them kind of more balanced. Ooh, man, that was sort of flying by the seat of my pants at that phase. Probably can export still, but maybe in the future I'll build a new one at some point. Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely I think you definitely have the foundations here. I mean, really just the gyro is the biggest, because we have some other ships down here that have a similar thruster layout. Like that's sort of what the missile build is, kind of in a way, except you actually have braking. Yeah, to each their own. It's just, yeah, definitely the gyros for sure. It's definitely these gyros. See, like I hate this side drifting. I like to kind of do a nice stop. I'm gonna hit the Renegade and run this backwards to see what it's like backwards. There it is. And then otherwise, we have kind of achieved what we were looking for on this stream, but just getting the base course down. I can definitely publish just a draft of it unlisted, just to get people's feedback on if any turns are changed or anything they like. And then while that's happening, I can greeble it and detail the track and add decorations. I think this track would actually run great in reverse, especially this hairpin. You really have to hit the brakes and then go up now. First person, whoa. This actually runs really nice in reverse too. Is it better in reverse? Who knows? That corner's definitely got to slow for that corner though. Having the checkpoint repat, I think I can do. I just have to make it. Oh, repeat. I think I should make it so the mission doesn't complete at the end. Instead of just continue going or fails and starts again. Yeah, because you probably couldn't have it keep going. I mean, you can have it keep going, but you know, you'd basically have it like if you wanted 3 laps, you have to set 3 laps for the checkpoints. If there's a way to start like when you hit like checkpoint 7 or something, yeah, if it, like you said, it starts a new mission or just repeats it from the start, that'd be a good way to do it. I don't know what the speed is for it resetting, but like if it's pretty quick, like if it can like complete and trigger a mission pretty fast, you could have them like near the start finish in the same spot, right? So like there's sort of like a finish objective and a start objective, so they sort of like as soon as you hit the finish, then like you know, a quarter of a second later pass over the new mission, which is just the other one that is just starting over again or whatever. Yeah, it was just a thought, because just so that way we can run as we're running circuits, you don't have to like reset it every time. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I was trying to start my timer. See what kind of time we could get in reverse. Break. This is where having a ton of back thrust would be beneficial. But then again, my other thrust is used to brake and turn, so who's to say? The competition is what we'll say. When we're racing together, we'll see if there might be a certain type of thruster configuration that continuously has better times on these courses. Then we'll know what the best spec is. This is pretty smooth in reverse, not gonna lie. $52, same time. Let's do the same time forward as backwards. I suppose there's no reason that wouldn't be the case, but you never know. Well, we have the foundations of a race course here. You're talking about the collection of ship builds earlier. Just published my second race compliant ship, the Kestrel GT. Oh, nice. Did you, yeah, put it in the Discord? Did you put it in the Discord? I can take a look at it right now. Share your build. You sure did. You sure did. Oh, you posted this one. I think you posted a draft of this one before. Right? Or does it just look similar to one of your other builds? Yeah, I just subscribed to it. Let me get it in here. Kestrel. Despite what this says, I also did press like on it. It just takes a sec for that to load. The Kestrel GT by Brib. When Team Brib Racing came across the luxurious Kestrel personal shuttle with its powerful forward thruster package and sleek profile, I imagine that's supposed to say sleek, Sleep is not usually the word you would use for a racing description. Or I guess you would have if it's a sleeper. Cars are sleepers. We could immediately see its potential as a racer. The Kestrel GT now sports an enhanced gyroscope package for race performance. Nice. Nice. Someone was taking notes in the gyroscopes. What we got here? Nice. Your other racer was kind of a similar form factor, right? Am I mistaken? Oops, my browser's covering the chat window. Oops, where'd it go? Shoot, no, my browser was the chat window, just in the wrong tab. This whole time. Oops. When your first flight, it's in the build change I did. Heck, typos would be the death of me. Well, luckily you can edit that. No big deal. Because you had another one, I thought. Maybe it's just you were sharing screenshots. I recognized the silhouette. Maybe just maybe it was just screenshots before. It definitely, I remember last time your wings were a little fuller. I know you were hitting kind of close to your weights. Oh, the peregrine, that was your other one. Okay, yeah. Nice. I like this one's cool. I like the looks of it and everything. Got 8 brakes. Okay, we'll see how that does. Got 8 brakes, 4 up. Big mega back. That'll be fun. 5 at the back. Wow. 4 on the side. 8 down. So let's do this. So what I do when I check everything. Go here. So you got 24 1 meters. Got your 8 2s, 1 5, 5 batteries, 1 cargo container. And your weight is 30,045. Nice, right on the money. That is there. Let me add this to the collection right now. Add to collection. All right, that is added to the collection. Funnel ship. Let's see how it do. Let's back up a little bit. Get some room to run here. Probably modify the inside of this corner so that way you can't just cut through this chicane. That defeats the purpose. It's quick. It's quick. But can it turn? Can it brake? It's got good gyro. Oh, wow. I thought it was going to drift the corner much better than it did. Wow, this actually is... Oh, and you can corkscrew with it into this corner. Oh, man. Oh, that was almost a sick line. Actually, it turned out okay, but could be better. All right, this is going to be the tricky part. Oh, jeez. Don't crash. Okay, so we had a major error in this lap time, and still it was a 44-second lap time. Okay. It's pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty fast. So this does bring up, there was, when we were trying to decide the batteries, we were thinking about this. So we set the battery at 1.5 meter batteries, and we almost went to 4 because we weren't sure if it was going to be meta to have like too many thrusters in the back, because you can see right now with 5 it's 98% energy usage, and if it was only 4 batteries, like you wouldn't be able to fire this many thrusters in reverse. So we're like, well, let's just it's a possibility that this could be meta, but let's just play it out and see what happens, because if you did want to have a big thruster package, you do need the 5 batteries. But if there's, you know, the rub of it is, if there's an ideal form factor for a thruster package, which there probably will be for every track, then that's just how people will build their ships. So it is what it is. Let's run it again. Let me get a better start so I can do it as if it was like a rolling start lap where I'm crossing at full speed. Yours is much easier to fly than Flames is. Probably because you have more thrusters in other directions. Flame only has like 2 in every direction, and that's way too little. All right, actually hit it that time. I cut the inside of it on the last lap. Last lap was technically a dirty lap, but it didn't really impact that much. Okay, I think I made an error in here before. Ooh, missed that one. Oh, I'm gonna smash hard here. Yeah, that was just a bad line. We'll just reset this lap here. This one is Bribby. Ribby's build. He just submitted it, and it is class compliant, and it's 30,045 kilograms. This is, I think, the lightest one. I know Dakiwaki got to 30,080. This one's nice though. We may have uncovered a meta. This line, I still got to figure out this line. This line appears tricky. Like I almost can get a really good corkscrew in. Like that. That was the line. That was an amazing way to hit that corner. Oh, that was a really good corner too. Uh, 42 seconds. It's like 10 seconds faster than the Renegade. Which is fine. I already knew the Renegade. The Renegade's kind of a vanity build. I already knew it wasn't going to be the like optimal race configuration. It's sort of it's just a good all arounder because you can control it in any scenario. Holy smokes! Good job, Ribby. Oops, why is this playing? That's pretty quick. 42-second time. Okay, well now that I know the line a little bit better, let me go to let me just contrast that because I think this has. So this is Flame's build. So he's got, oh gosh, dang, wow. I just tapped W and went flying forward. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember you sharing the original photos, and I remember that it was the heavy. I figured the way you were going to do it was lightening up the detail along the fuselage there around the things. So he's got one more medium in the back and 3 light ones. He's only got 2 vertical. When he has 2 more medium and a lot more light ones you can put on, so he's pretty close to a similar configuration, but his is a little bit, he doesn't have enough thrust, so yours is way more controllable. Yeah, that's pretty good. That may be the meta configuration. That's, I mean, the 10 seconds faster than I could do with the, where did the Renegade go? I thought I left it parking here as an obstacle. That's pretty good. There it is. That corkscrew, that lap, that I hit those turns pretty perfectly with that thing too. Those 2 corners, I nailed the corkscrew and nailed the hairpin. Not nailed, but definitely hit him pretty good. This one, I think 1 thruster in the back is just not enough, which is fine. Because again, I built this for the, you know, like I said, for vanity. I had a type of build I wanted to build for. I knew it wasn't going to be the fastest. My buddy was already designing ships that were faster with just different configurations. I'm zoomed way too far out. Maybe that's why. Was I zoomed out far on the other one? No, I zoomed out to look at the other build. That's okay. We'll see how this goes. I could definitely shave some time on that line, just aiming for the tops of the checkpoints a little bit better. Just a little too slow through some of these things. And plus with yours, I can fly all the way out of this checkpoint and then whip around and then brake. Where this one, I could do that, but as you see, I'm already at 42 seconds. I'm already at your lap time. And this wasn't even like a bad lap. Dang. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's hilarious. Well, I imagine people are probably going to start building with that thruster configuration. I already contemplating what my next ship would be. I don't think it would work within the sketch I was working on. Look at my sketch. It might work within the realm of my sketch. That's pretty good though. Good job. But yeah, we got a course now. I'll start posting like drafts of this unlisted into the workshop, so we have some stuff to work with. Sorry, just look at the chat thing. So we have some, so we can start race on this, and people can give feedback if they think like a turn or a section is really bad. But I think this is a pretty good start to like our first like official smuggler class race course. It's only, we only got 7 checkpoints, well, eight checkpoints if you include the start finish line, 8 checkpoints, which is pretty good. We were trying to keep it under 10. We were trying to keep lap times under 90 seconds, and apparently we have that. But I think what's great about a quick lap time like this is you can, when we're doing our time trials, you can sort of run through a bunch of laps. Like the quicker the laps, the more opportunities people have to do laps when we're doing like our events. Because we'll probably do them like in Discord, and we'll probably just like stream, like I'll do like a live stream and just like show the Discord, and people can just like one at a time share their screen, and we can do races. So if we have like a 45-second lap time, you could run like 10 laps and it doesn't take up a ton of time. So then everybody can run a bunch of laps. So we can see who can get the best lap time. I imagine as we're practicing it and posting it, probably a lot of people are going to redo their ships to be able to compete with the 42-second lap time, because that's insane. Yeah, I didn't expect one to run through it that quickly, but it was fun. It's fun doing it. It's like you can definitely mess up your line and improve your line, even in areas where like maybe you're hitting max speed. I don't think there was any time we were hitting max speed for too long, which was the goal. And as long as you have like racing lines to dial in while you're doing that, it's all right. But yeah, we'll get this. I might even just get this published now and just share the draft just so people can start racing in it and messing around, and then I'll pretty it up. Obviously, it's got a lot of work to do to get to the final racing state, but it's a pretty small, compact area. You can see from what's our max width here. If we go to here, how far away is checkpoint 7? 4.5 kilometers. So it's a pretty small space, which means I can like add a lot of decorations to this, including our our ship over there on the left side of the valley, which is going to be a derelict ship that's sort of just cool decorations. Add like little outpost things. We can transfer it to NPCs and not count towards our PCU. This is gonna be pretty sweet. I think we're off to a good start. And now I have to start sketching another race concept, because what I was gonna build is not good. That's why I didn't start building it yet, because I wanted to like play around with everybody's builds and kind of see what the best option is. And I think we now know what we have to do. So that's great. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and hanging out. I'll try to figure out a better schedule stream going forward, but a lot of it's just whenever I have free time in the week based on work meetings and things like that. So I have been popping up more in the Discord. If you look at the chat in the Discord and in the voice chat, I actually do sometimes hop in there and just stream when I'm just building stuff that maybe isn't as exciting for regular stream. So if you ever want to hop in there in a voice chat and hang out, I'll be in there quite a bit hanging out as well, and just streaming whatever I'm working on. So yeah, still got some progress to do with this, but at least we can start, racing and build your own tracks too, mess around with your own tracks. We'll make a collection of tracks as well. We have a couple in there. Stone Lords has got his mod track in there with cool checkpoints and stuff. Flame's got some he's working on too. So we'll just keep posting tracks in there and keep posting builds. And once this one's more dialed, we'll do our first time trial event with prizes. I'll tell you the prizes when we're a little closer. But they'll be fun. Yeah. And thanks for hanging out, and I hope you guys enjoy the evening. Be sure to check out the links below for Discords, and go into the Renegade and go into the collection and like in the Bribby's build, because it's apparently the meta build. And take it easy, everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Keep an eye out for future streams. I don't know when the next time I'll stream is, but one of these days soon, definitely. All right, I will see you guys later.